Great. You made it. As always, I'm excited to have you. Nervous about what you're going to say, but I'm here for it. See, because Question Time was founded on a longing for us to talk to one another through open dialogue, active listening, and the sharing of opinions and facts. See, we strive to move past the texting and get back to the good old days. You know, the days where audible words were used to convey a message and talk to people. I know, it's scary, but we can do it together. Now, there are a few things that are required before we start. One, we will be respectful, considerate, and courteous. We will also know that feelings might get hurt because not everybody agrees with everybody. But when all is said and done, we will leave not in hate, but in love and understanding. Number two, you can join the live by clicking the link pinned. Note that you do need to share the join, unless it's one of those pop on, pop off type of shows. However, if you plan to be on the panel for a prolonged period of time, and you know what I mean, be kind and share the show to your page. See, this shows us that you want your people to chime in, that you support our growth, and that you are encouraging us to press on to being a brilliantly successful show. Now, if you can't do that for Question Time's expansion, we get it, we understand. But you also have to understand that you can comment in the comment section. Cry about it to your mom. Okay? Now, let's get started. Raw News No Fluff presents to you Question Time with me, your host, Brandy Grant. I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, now I'm not muted. Hi again. We are talking vulnerability today. I know, girl. I thought I clicked mute, but I muted. Anyway, yes, that is what we're talking about today. Um, Thank you. Okay, so we are talking about vulnerability. We're talking about men being too soft, being too weak, all that jazz. But our first topic of discussion is going to be, as y'all know, we're talking about the text messaging thing. Now, this was a question that came about from Danielle, Dr. Jackson, that's on the show. That's usually on the show. I don't know where she's right now, but this is her question actually. And we were talking about how lost in translation text messages can be, and is text a new form of dating? Let's go ahead and bring Ash M in. Okay, I had your name right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I am doing good today. Was a good day. I
Good.
made some kimchi.
Oh,
I
interesting.
also purchased some lamb. So I'm excited about a lot of stuff, you know, living my life. Did I get any work done today? Not really, but that's neither here nor there. So, how do you feel about relationships, text messaging? Should we text message? Should we text less? Should we do more of it?
And relationship less. If it's just a quick friendship, family, shooting off of sex, then okay. But relationship, no,
Okay, why?
because you it gets lost. Like you're gonna read it in your own headspace. You're not gonna read it. I mean, because there's like a Key and Peele skit, and I don't know if you saw it, and they're texting, and one guy they're reading their text as as they're writing it, and he's like all happy. He's like, "Oh no, you got it, guy. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do. It's okay. It's your world." But the other guy, when he receives it, he's like, "You got it, guy. Do what you want to do. It's your world." He's reading it with a negative tone, but the other guy is like pleasant when he's writing it. So I think it's just too lost in your own headspace.
Sorry about that.
Oh.
I got a FaceTime. And they'll never. Anyway, so you said they get lost in your own headspace. You read it your own kind of way. And then I got kicked out. So I apologize for that.
Now I was saying, I don't know if you heard when I was talking about the Key and Peele
No, I missed that.
spoof.
Sorry.
So one guy is writing. He's like, "It's your world. You got it. Do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
It's okay. And the other guy, he's reading it like, "You got it. Do what you want to do. It's your world. Like, how dare he?" But the guy is really trying to be considerate. So
Right.
I think that speaks to texting. Because there's been so many times I've had to say, "I'm writing this in a pleasant way. Like, read this in a pleasant tone. Like, I'm not upset." It's just
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. I have many a times been like, I don't have an attitude. I'm not a literally. I don't have an attitude. I'm not upset. So just read it for what it is. How
And
was your
then,
day?
right. And then that sounds, when you have to say that sounds like you got attitude. I don't got no
Right.
attitude. Read it, So it's just like, just call me. In a relationship, just call me. Because, when this is my dad or somebody, I'm not going to read it negative, and I don't think he's going to read it negative, because it's not that serious.
Right. And shoot, even in friendships, because I recently had a friend text me, and I took what she said. I was like, "Are you laughing? Like, are you laughing at my pain right now?" And then she messaged me back, and by the time she messaged me back, I had gotten over it. So the first text message I said was thanks. I was like, "Yes, laugh while I'm stressed." And so later I was like, I had gotten over it. So I was like, I'm good. She was like, no, I'm sorry. I did. I'm like, no, 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 literally, I'm good. But she was probably reading it like, oh, we good. We
Right.
good.
Right.
Because today we talked on the phone and she was like, I was like, did I lose a friend? I'm like, girl, if we can lose a friend over a simple text message, then we're not friends at all. So even with some friendships, which is crazy to me, because you shouldn't, as my friend, you should know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I got attitude or not. So
Yeah.
yeah, like friends too, and especially in relationships because you want to maintain the relationship. You want to reassure the person, but they're like you said, thinking you said in one way when you mean the complete opposite.
Right.
And but can that stem from their day, like how their day is going?
No, I think their day is a part of it. Past relationship, they probably used to somebody being sarcastic all the time or having an attitude. And like, this is one dude I know, and I'm like, "Sir, treat me like Ashley. You keep talking about what other people do and
Oh,
all this other stuff. Treat me like me, like learn me, and stop making a judgment based off of things you've already been through."
that's real. That's real. And I ain't gonna point no fingers, but I feel like dudes are notorious for that. Like notorious for that. And I'm like, you talk about me having baggage, but I'm not Kiki. I ain't been Kiki in a long time. So I mean I've never been Kiki. So don't use Kiki to equate me to what problems y'all had. Let me be me and let
Right.
me do me.
Right.
What about with do you think that even with text messages, things, even though things are in a good space, right? You're texting, you're joking back and forth, ha ha, kiki, whatever, 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 and then somebody flips and it's like, so what you mean by that? What are your
Uh,
thoughts on that? Because I had a conversation where a girl was like, well, what do you mean by that? I'm like, girl, I thought we were just like bantering back and forth, talking trash, and now you like popped up on a whole nother level.
well, I think people always. I think that could be. I don't think that that's exclusive to texting. I think that could be any situation. If somebody hits a sore spot or they've heard judgment to them, about themselves in that area, then it's like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Because they probably already heard something similar before. And sometimes we walk into stuff that we don't even know we're walking into.
Mm.
You
Give an
know,
example of that if you can.
like what you said with your friend, you might have said something in jest, just joking around, and not realizing that that's like a real situation for her.
Oh,
Yeah, like that she might have heard something before in that way. And it's like, well,
and
what do
that,
you mean by that? And now she's on guard, you know, and you didn't even know
yes.
what happened. You're like, wait, what happened?
And that's crazy because thinking about that whole situation, that's exactly what she said. She was she was like, because people say I'm this kind of way or I'm that kind of way, and I just wanted to make sure like what was going on. I was like, yeah, but when you said that, that threw me off because I'm
Right.
like, can I joke with her? Can I not joke with her?
That's
Is
not.
there like is there lines that should not be like tell me where I overstepped? But she couldn't tell me that. She was like, I've been called that, like I've been approached that way before, and it just triggered me. I'm like, okay, so what other ways have you been approached that I shouldn't do?
Right.
And it makes you not want to text people too. Like it makes you not want to like they'll text you and then or let me I'll go to me. They'll text me and they'll say something weird and I'll be like, you know what? I don't want to text you because of what happened last time, and I don't want that to happen again because it took more
Right.
texting to explain the
Right.
situation than to have a conversation.
Right.
So it's like, well, you read it the wrong way, or like some people will say, even on this show, well, you heard it the wrong way. I'm like, no, that's how I interpreted it. But if it's wrong, you like say something.
Right.
So
Yeah. I know
I
someone. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, go ahead.
I know someone who only would like to communicate via text, and I'm like,
Mm,
this doesn't work for me. Like this ain't it. And it's like we're writing books about, and then it becomes arguments or disagreements because it's like you're taking this how you want to take it because I can't say everything I would say in text. So I have to give you the bits and pieces or
right,
the main parts. But really, and I've learned in communication, the main parts are complemented by the other parts, the tone and all of that. So all of that is part of the presentation, of communication. So if I can't give you tone and inflection and pauses, it just don't work. And I've had to say to myself that this person, we will only go this far because I can't do this.
right.
And it's like
And no,
you, sorry,
go ahead. No, no, no.
and it's like you come around that person and it's expected to be a certain way to that person. I'm like, what are you talking about? We text buddies, and that's
Right.
it. I don't care how deep the text get. We're text buddies.
And how you take it is how you take it because you didn't want to hear how I said it. So you want to just read it how you felt it should be read. So okay, cool. I could not be with somebody that only wanted to text.
Right.
I don't think I
Yes.
could be in a relationship with somebody that wanted to text the majority of the time. Like if we're in okay, say we get married, right? Say we get married. Is our conversation gonna be like you in the house, you on this couch next to me? Are we just texting each other or are we gonna talk this out? Because you only want to text. Like, how will our communication go when we go to a higher or deeper level?
Well, I think that's different because when this particular person, when we're around each other, we're talking. But when we're not, it's just your preferred communication is text. And I think that's red flags to me. Like what you doing that you can't pick up the phone or that you can't ever talk on the phone. Like who are you know, what's really good? So it's just like yeah, but I think yeah, it's just weird
He's
to me.
working.
It's weird.
He's working or he's married, one or the other.
Right. Or he have a live in girlfriend or whatever. Go ahead, check it stuff.
Right.
Check it stuff. Yeah,
Man.
something. Something ain't right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of texting is texting is a bit much, especially with how sarcastic I can be, with how with just how sarcastic I can be in a reply. Like, hey, we're going to the store. Didn't you say that like 5 minutes ago? I'm waiting outside. Like that kind of stuff. So
Right.
yeah, I can't. I don't think I'm the chick that's good with just texting or even texting. I do prefer phone conversations, and especially since and maybe it's because could it be because I'm a thinker. So I'm considering the way you said it, how you said it. I want to hear all of that, and I'm more so into. I would rather FaceTime than talk on the phone. Are you the same?
No. Because I can't hold my
Okay.
phone up. I'm doing other stuff.
No, I mean like face to face conversations as opposed to phone instead of phone calls or text messaging. Would you prefer a face to face conversation?
Yeah, I would prefer face to face, but not FaceTime. What was
That's
that?
funny.
Right, I was gonna say face to face, but not FaceTime. What's the difference?
I'm not holding my phone up. That's a lot of holding of the phone.
Okay.
That's the difference.
I don't even know what we're talking about, but
Oh,
Well, we're talking about the question of the day, which is basically is text messaging taking over relationships, and should we be
oh
texting
yeah,
as much as we should to our significant other or someone we're interested in?
oh yeah. Text message, I hate it, and I am. If I were judged on my text response and relationships alone, I probably would never have another successful one. I'm terrible at texting back. I'm terrible at texting right back. I'm terrible at good morning text. Call me. Let's get together, baby girl. I want to see you in a Kia.
I'm not a fan of the good morning text, but I think we talked about that in another show. I'm not a fan of good morning text. Don't text me
Even
good
if
morning, good morning.
even if it starts out Grand Rising Queen. You mean to tell
I'm
me
upset. I'm upset already.
you mean to tell me that don't make you weak in the knees when you get the Grand Rising Queen?
I'm upset already.
Wow. I thought that worked on everybody. I gotta change my game.
You're not getting a reply back. I ain't gonna lie. You're not gonna get a reply back, my guy. Like Grand Rising. Well, when you say good morning, it's as if you're in mourning. Like y'all doing too much. You're doing too much. Good morning, sir.
no, I like a good morning text.
Do
Wow.
you like a Grand Rising Queen text? Is the
No, I don't
question.
like that, but I like a
Okay.
good morning text.
Every morning.
Yeah, the earlier the better. I'm serious.
Oh heck
Shit.
no!
She don't want a good morning text. She want a wake up call. She go
Right,
to
that's what
sleep.
she want.
Right.
And
She
I
want
like knowing. I
Hi.
like no, I like it. That I'm what you thought about when you woke up.
okay.
Amen. What?
Hmm.
What do you mean, amen? Like, amen. You want a good morning text every
Who,
morning,
who
or
said amen?
amen? Tasia said amen. Who needs to join the live?
Yeah, I want to know what Tasia's saying. Good amen too. I think Tasia might be saying she looks like an old Grand Rising lover.
Yes, yes. What,
Yes, you're a
girl?
Grand Rising lover. I got it.
See, if she were on here, the text she could use more words instead of the text message, and that's another thing for me. Like, I'm not
Tone
gonna
gets
text you
lost.
soliloquies. I'm not gonna text you those. Okay, I'm not gonna text you all that stuff.
You're not gonna text what?
I'm not. I'm not texting
No, no. Say that word again.
complete soliloquies.
Okay. Definitely a Grand Rising queen.
I'm not texting you long paragraphs. If we're in a conversation It's gonna be real to the point. It's gonna seem spicy, but I'm just trying to summarize my thoughts as opposed to giving you word
Let
for word everything there is. I'll be there all day.
let's unpack seem spicy. You my lady. And I'm called and I'm get a man can't win with you.
Wait, what?
Good morning gets me a spicy text. Yikes.
No, no. I'm not saying that's a spicy text. I'm saying for me to hey! I just
So much. What it
realized
do?
what you did.
Come on, you see it?
Oh shoot! He got his testicles all out.
Oh no, I appreciate that.
But what I'm saying was like a quick summary of if we're having a conversation and I'm not giving you word for word everything. I'm just going to summarize it, and then my summation can seem a little spicy, and it's not.
What up,
Oh,
Doc?
and this is Danielle's question. What's up, girl? This was
Hold on.
her. We were what is it called? Workshopping this topic.
I think text messages are cool for like a short moment, but I don't think they really work in long term conversations. And what
Right.
I mean by that, if it's just like, hey, what's up, how you doing? That's cool. But trying to like have some type of real dialogue and through text messages, I think it's like the worst thing because context can be misunderstood. And I got a real story like recently that just happened about that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Okay.
me and the you know what I'm saying, little breeze out here, talk messaging back and forth with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Please disconnect.
So I hear, we texting and stuff. Now she gonna hit me with the, oh, I'm the realest chick you ever met. If you say what you just tell me what you.
Wait. She said that to the realist? That she
Come
was the
on.
realist?
Come on, you feel Doc Gerard. So me. I was like, finally, my prayers have been answered. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who
Challenge you.
we can keep it 100 with each other, and I ain't gotta, what I'm saying, withhold. You feel what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Who sang that song? Withholding nothing. Y'all know what that? Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I surrender
I was,
all
I,
to
was-
thee.
I thought she was gonna put me in the spirit. You understand what I'm saying? Withholding nothing. I'm walking in this thing, right? So,
Uh,
boom. So she shoot me a little, text message talking about, oh, did you cut your hair? I don't like you with dreads. Da, da,
Wow.
da. So I'm like, oh, we keeping it a buck. So I'm
Right.
telling her, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I shoot the little one liner, because she ain't budging, you know what I'm saying? With saying that she keeping it real. So I'm like, shoot, so you standing 10 toes down like a nigga on the block, you know what I'm saying? Like a block captain. So she was like, "Oh, I don't know what that means, and why do I feel like I need a interpreter when I'm talking to you?" So I'm like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh, I forgot you green." You know what I'm saying? So she was like, "Green, what that mean?" Y'all know if we talking
I
green,
know you
that
lying.
really mean like you really don't know, right?
Leave it on there.
That I could describe it for like normal people.
I said leave it.
You want me to leave it?
I think she was talking to one of the
Oh,
kids.
that's way I could describe it. You feel what I'm saying? I called the chick square. You feel me? So she offended that I used the word square, right? Not knowing, but I'm saying that to say all that was through text message. So she missed the whole entire context. I'm thinking we doing friendly banter back and forth. She offended that I called her a square. But she thinking a square means something that I'm not even communicating what it means. You feel what I'm saying? So it's this whole miscommunication, and that's why I'm just like, I'm straight.
And people are actually using it to even date now, where it's like to me it's a lazy, very very lazy form of dating, because through text messages, just like how like people can be a different person on the internet, because
mm-hmm.
literally you can Google an answer. If they ask you a question, you could Google what's the perfect answer for this.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's like you can be somebody else completely different through text messaging. And it's like people are using it as their main form of communication because they don't know how to carry on a conversation.
Right.
To
So
me,
do you
that's
think?
like, well, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying just like what the realist said, it's like things are up for interpretation when you do that because there's no tone that is there, so you don't know if the person is joking with you, if they're being sarcastic, or if they're upset unless you use all caps. I mean, it's
All caps. I know I have a cousin that uses all caps, regardless. Regardless, all caps. I be like, and I text back like, dude, why are you yelling at me? He's like, I'm not yelling. It's just then you have a capital in the rest lowercase. But Ash said that she had someone that only wanted to text. He
Oh
was
no,
like, just text me.
I can't.
Yeah.
well, I used to tell people just to text me if it's during the work hours to text me if they want me to call them back. That's the
No,
only, well,
it's
other than that,
text all day, every day. Not all day, but that's the only. It's and then I think it became frustrating because it's like when something is really going on in your life, you want to have a conversation. Like you want to talk about it. Like it's so it doesn't feel there's no emotion via text.
Right. And I want and I exactly and verbal, which is what question time why question time came about anyway. Verbal communication is so like it's feel like it's fleeting. Everybody prefers to DM or text or they don't even say hi in public anymore. Like it's just like talk. And I need that, especially for my significant other. I need to hear if you're sad with me. I need to feel if you're excited with me. Like
Right.
that's great. In a text
Right.
message is not the same as saying that's great in person or on the phone.
It's. I mean, hearing the other person's voice just does something to you.
Right.
Does something to you in general, right? It's one thing to say I miss you through the text, and you could feel that, like, oh, like if you having a bad day and somebody shoots you, like, oh, I miss you, like, you kind of feel that. It's another thing when you say it in person and you able to, and you can hear that voice in their tone. You could, it's a deeper feeling. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm just like, talk to me nice. You feel me?
Talk to me nice.
Talk to me nice.
Shoot, even if you're upset, I'd rather hear it than read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's it? I don't
And
because
like.
then you
then
know
but
how upset. Now you know the gravity of how upset you are.
But you see, but you know what the problem is? People, oh my bad. I'll wait, my bad, Ash.
no, and the conversation gets lost because you're texting and they're texting. So you're out of turn. You're responding to something that happened a little further up. They don't move to this. So the conversation isn't fluid. It's
Right.
static.
Yeah. What I was saying was, most people who text a lot, they defer from confrontation because they
Yeah.
see they
Mm,
see they see direct communication and being straight up with you as a form of a threat to them, right? And I think a lot of stuff could come from childhood trauma and
Yeah.
whatever that might be, right? But what I'm saying is, when
Yeah, they
you
use it
try
as a
to
cop out.
yeah. So when you try to engage with them, you know what I'm saying? When you are communicating, you prefer direct conversation because you already know stuff gonna be miscommunicated. You feel
right.
what I'm saying? Now, what I find most interesting is even the people who prefer communication knows that a lot of times their information could be miscommunicated. They'll still choose that first route for safety. And I find that's the part that I find the most interesting, right? Like, even though I know me and my partner gonna go back and forth in this situation through text message because a lot of stuff gonna be, I'd rather choose to fight between that than to change than to change the way we need to communicate to make
Mhm.
it better for both people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
Mm.
how locked up and afraid they
That's
be.
selfish.
Very selfish.
So then, what do you do with that? Do you keep dealing in that relationship, or do you be like, you know what, I can't because you're not maturing in the level of communication that we're involved in?
I'm gonna tell you, depending on the level of love and concern and care that you have for that person, I think that'll determine the output that you give them. You know what I'm
That's
saying? And then also being honest with yourself and saying, to what capacity could I be able to live up to this, right? And then I think
Yeah.
the most important part is saying, can you accept that person for who they is no matter what? Because I start to think about like what make all of us kind of really enjoy each other, right? It's because truly we can like bear ourselves, right? And no matter who we are, good, bad, indifferent, because we know a whole bunch of negative stuff, damn positive stuff about each other that we know that don't
Right.
separate us, right? But
Yeah.
that's what make us join together that much more. But when we in a relationship with the other person, we don't get them that same level of love. You see what I'm saying? So it's more in the lines of, for me, what I'm saying is the real question is, can you give that level of love to the other person to walk with them through the difficulties in their life and say, I still love you. I gotta ask yourself, can you do that?
No.
My answer, yeah, I'm a no on that. I feel like with this situation I'm talking about, I've tried to say, hey, we don't need to communicate several times,
Mm,
to the point where I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna ride it out. I'm just gonna communicate, but I know within myself I've hit my level.
right. But
Like, you can text me all day long and I'll respond, but I know that this isn't, this is not going anywhere.
right. But what I'm
Also
but
because,
that don't mean. Oh, I'm sorry.
well, just to answer your question, and also because if you know that our communication is how we communicate via text is gonna end up in conflict, and you still want to
Yeah.
go that route, you don't care about me.
Right.
So I'm good.
What,
I'm good.
but I think what I'm saying is, I think that's the deep part. I wouldn't say that they don't necessarily, because I think you can care about somebody and still choose yourself. Because I think we've all done that. We may have all done that before in relationships. Like, you cared about somebody, but still chose what made you comfortable over it. But just because you chose yourself in these specific moments, right? Not in every moment, but in these specific moments where you felt like you had to choose yourself, didn't mean that you didn't care for the person, right? So I wouldn't go to the extent to say that they don't care about you holistically. I think when it comes down to choosing between you and them, when in that particular context, they care more about protecting themselves than you. So if that's what you're saying, then I agree with you on that part. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I feel like they don't. Well, I hear what you're saying, but I feel like they don't care about me, because I've been on this live several times and said my love language is words of affirmation. Communication is my thing. So if I'm telling you this and I'm like, hey, I need somebody that communicates, or this doesn't work for me, but you insist on doing it just only your way, and you're not saying, okay,
Mm.
well, we'll talk here and there, then you don't care about me, because that I need communication, like a man needs physical touch.
Mhm. So can I ask this question?
Go for
Mhm.
it.
So so let's just say, because I'm assuming that's just one way that you feel cared for, correct?
That's my main way, yes.
Right, but I'm just saying, but I'm just saying that that's just one way. There are other ways that you do feel cared for, correct?
Right, but they're just so far down my list. But
Right.
yes.
No, no, I get it. I understand. But what I'm saying is, if he's showing care in all of those areas, are you saying, even though he's showing care for me in every other in all of those other areas, in this one area that he's not showing care, that means that he just doesn't care for me, even though in other areas he displays care?
But why give me pennies when you can just give me two
No, no.
quarters?
Right, right, right.
No,
Well,
but that in
but
my particular situation, there's not other areas of showing care
oh, okay.
in
Now
this
see, that
particular
makes sense to me.
situation.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. No, but what I was gonna say, Ash, is I know, right? Because I had mentioned earlier, can you care enough, for the person to walk them through and accept them who they are holistically, right? And right now you was like, not at this moment, but you do have the capacity to do that, though, right or wrong, because you've done it. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And I feel like with this particular situation, I'm doing it now,
Oh,
but
that's good.
I'm not doing it to the extent where we're going to be together.
I
I'm
mean,
doing it just on a friendship level,
I get it.
you
For
know,
That's real.
kind of sort of for the time being.
not for the time being. I mean, I will text with this person for years to come, but I've counted out anything more than that.
I dig it. Anybody else have anything else to say on text messaging and relationships?
Yeah, don't do it.
Right. Just
I,
don't
I,
do it.
I, I think it also age plays a difference in it because what I've seen
Yes.
from communicating
You said it fast, yeah.
younger younger people, that's their thing. You know what I mean? Like they when they walk up and they shooting a shot, a girl tried and she was like, "What's your Insta?" And I'm like, "My phone number?" She's like, "No." And you have to text and inbox and DM and earn yourself into a phone number type of situation. I'll never make it. I'll never make it to phone calls because the idea of texting to and from all day long. I mean, it just, even people who are my friend who have not made their intentions clear recently, very recently. Um, girl, I mean, nice. Start sending pictures unsolicited, and so now it's weird. I don't even know what you sound like on the phone. You're sending me pictures. That's weird. You know what I mean? That to me, that's awkward. So it went from me leaving a lot of messages on red. Text me yesterday, your phone broke. Like yesterday, she texted me, your phone broke. And I see the messages when they come through. I have no desire. And I don't know how to break up with somebody I'm not even dating. I don't know. I don't know.
Just yeah, I
Like,
think you should say that.
Yeah,
Like,
you
I'm not
definitely should
interested.
say
I
that.
feel like
Yeah,
that's rude to leave
yeah,
But
somebody
you
on
gotta
red.
text
yeah, yeah.
it.
I
Text a
started
broke
to I
text a
started
broke
to
heart emoji.
I started to block her, but I'm like, why I gotta block a Facebook friend? Never went out, never talked on the phone, never nothing, just some pleasantries. But I'm smart enough to know what she was looking for, but I didn't have it wasn't it. I felt it would have been awkward to have such a serious conversation with somebody who I've never talked to on the phone. Like, how do we even get here
But
that
is
we're
that a
breaking
serious
up?
conversation?
Yeah, I don't even know you that much. Why am I in a position where I feel like I owe you a serious conversation? It's a lot.
Mm.
I guess it's
Yeah,
simple. This
yeah.
ain't gonna work, cuz
Right,
All
or
right.
hey, you don't have to send me any pictures, you know.
I
I'm old
actually
school.
I actually have
Right.
a small rebuttal to that because, of course, because you said it was sometimes age related. I
Correct.
was talking to somebody who was older than me, and that was that was his main form of communication,
Texting.
texting.
Can I
Yeah.
tell you a secret? If he was older than you, he's married.
Mm.
Right. That's and
Ain't
that's how
no
I feel.
ain't no older
Say
man.
what?
Ain't no older man. Ain't no older. He's married or he's in a serious relationship.
Right.
Do
Ain't
you
no
agree,
older.
Leroy? I mean, the realist.
Huh?
Do you agree?
I don't know.
He wasn't married.
I can't.
Oh,
Nowadays, man. Some of these older, well, they want to be young too. So that
Because they're
ain't
scared,
no.
and it can be
How
like
old, Doctor
insecurity.
Jackson? Let me get in your business a little bit. How old was it?
9 years older than me.
How old are you? I mean, but what was that age?
46.
Who was that? I think he
Patient.
likes the unsolicited. Oh no, that's not true. Yeah, no,
But
no, that's
I
not true
feel
at all.
like, yeah, he's either trying
Too
to
old
talk
for
to
that.
you and a few other people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
that's the conclusion I would come to if it were me.
If
And
you can type and
I know
talk,
a person, a true story. She said this dude texts her in the good morning. He was been sending her these good morning texts, and how you doing, what you doing for the day or whatever. And he accidentally sent it in a group message with another girl. And
mm,
she was like, who is this other person in this? And she's just watching this play out via text. And he's like, no, I didn't mean to send that to you. And
he ain't no real
but
player.
he's sending it to all these several people talking about good morning. How
Hey,
you
Leroy,
doing? I
he
was
ain't no
thinking
real
about you.
player.
nah.
And
So
that's
it's
why
like,
I said if it's a good morning text, it needs to be, and I said this in past shows, it needs to be brandy specific.
so my texts were all specific. Also,
mhm.
Yeah,
But
no,
he
no,
just
I
wants
believe, I
text.
believe that, I believe, but
no,
think
but
about it like this: if you can
it
articulate in
also
Jack
detail,
said y'all need to stop trying her, man. Ain't nobody around here trying to play her, y'all.
no, but on top of that, it was during the work shift in the daytime.
She ain't
So
bounced up that yet.
yeah, but my thing is, and this is just me. I'm at a place in life where I don't like to talk on the phone as much as I used to. Two reasons: one from trauma,
Yeah,
one
right.
from one from
Mhm. You were saying?
One from trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I developed an unhealthy reliance on telephone conversation in a previous relationship. Like we talked all day long, and it was good conversation. After that relationship did not last, trying to replace that is very hard. For me, when you find somebody that you can talk to
I hear that.
every day, and it's not about the same stuff, you don't mind listening to them talk, it's very hard to replace that. For example, I've also been in relationships where I talk the whole way to work. I talked on the first 15-minute break. I talked the whole hour lunch. I talked the whole way home from work. And then when I get home, we have nothing to, we literally talk every free moment I've had today.
Mm-hmm.
But watch this. One time in my life, we can hear you. You're not muted. But one time in my life, it was not a burden. For me, it's been troublesome ever since that relationship ended. So I get the texting every now and then, but at the end of the day, I gotta hear your voice. I gotta hear you laugh. Ain't no old man doing that unless he can't talk to you because somebody else there, Dr. Jackson. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I apologize.
And I'm
Somebody
gonna
else is.
agree with them. But and I also agree with the fact that when you find somebody that you talk to on the phone and the conversation is so good and you just like
Man,
just
please.
banging and then you get to the next person and be like, really? Are we talking about this again?
Right.
We breathing on the phone.
Are we do you have anything? Like there's a guy I talk to via FaceTime and I'd be like, so is there anything else you want to talk about? Can we get off the phone? Or can we get off the FaceTime? Because it's like I know good conversation when I hear
Yeah, he don't want to talk to you, Brandon. He want to make sure ain't nobody over there in that background. I don't blame him.
it.
Who
Right.
over there? Look, who that is over there?
And my I don't know, my internet got messed up. Whatever. So text messaging, don't do it. Go for the phone call or the conversation. I dig it.
Hey, Leroy, this is me froze on FaceTime.
Boy, I thought, hey, you almost had me for a minute. I said, man, the nigga screen on froze.
That boy good.
That was good.
I'm about to be like Gerard.
You froze, you raw, you froze. Okay, let's talk about weak, crying, and sensitive men.
Okay.
You have alpha male, but we know that we'll let you have it today.
Ooh, don't make me
What
cry.
what is your definition? Let me just ask this: what is your definition of alpha male? Does he not cry? Does he not have feelings?
I think alpha male does cry and have feelings, but he can
She said a real sensitive like this.
right, right. I think an alpha male is a male that does cry and does have feelings. I think the difference from what I got from your topic was when we say a man's acting like a bee or a woman, I think a man can be over emotional, but I think even if a man is super emotional, he can never be on a level or worse than the woman he's with. Like it's okay if it's okay to be an emotional man, but if you're stressing and she's the one that's calm in tough situations, you got a problem going on.
Mm.
I think
Okay,
it can be relative to who you're with.
so what is your definition of being emotional? And I guess this question is for the guys. What's your definition of being emotional? What's emotional for a guy?
I'll give three examples. If financially there's a struggle going on, I don't think a woman, I don't think a man should be fretting more than the woman. He should be solving and figuring whether it's negotiating an extension, negotiating a refinance, negotiating to something, talking to people, this, that, and another. He shouldn't be the one frantic. I think if there's a threat of physical violence, clearly he should not be the one, even if he has no pistol, and he cannot be the one that's screaming, pushing her in the front. And I think with children, he can't be the one that's over emotional, whether it's in discipline or whether it's in a tough situation, a child is in the hospital. He has to be solid. She should always have the right to tap out emotionally first. Now, if she's a good woman, she will allow him spaces to be emotional, but she gets the right to tap out, not him. She got the first right of refusal on tapping out.
Realist?
No, I don't have a real definition for alpha or beta male. I just think that's good talk. But because I believe that everybody is emotional, men, women. I think the only difference is how those emotions are displayed and acted out. So, but
That boy came back with a coach jacket on and a coach hat. I just seen that.
He just zipped it up.
That boy showing out, ain't
That
he?
man was strong.
We ain't seen you since that Powerball was hot. Is that what's going?
That's
Did you
ooh.
hit?
man, I would, Gerard, if I hit, man, redeem would be come on now. Yeah, come on.
Store. I got you. I
If
knew where you
I
was going.
listen, if I would have hit, you would have known. You would have hit too. You feel me?
What about me?
Uh, that wasn't even a question.
No. Oh, but okay.
Yeah.
So ladies, how do you feel about a man that cries?
I want my man to cry.
Um,
Because I'm not with no sociopath. If you're not showing, no, seriously, if you're not showing emotion, that to me is
That's
dangerous.
a
That's scary.
psychopath.
That's
She
a
said, "I'm not with no."
psychosocial. That's a
She
lot
said, "I'm
going
not."
on.
She
And
said, "I'm
I
not
feel
with no
like,
socio."
yeah, I'm not going to do that. And I think that that's tough when a guy feels like he has to be strong all the time. I want you to call me crying every now and again or whatever. If something is bothering you, that's a natural, a human response. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want, I don't think I want somebody crying all the time for small stuff. Well, what I consider small, because I can't say, but for what I consider small, but like, oh, I got a speeding ticket. Okay, you got a speeding ticket, but no, I want a guy that can show emotion, good, and I want that.
What about a rough day at work? Can he come home and cry after that?
It depends on the where the rough day of work is. If it's I just had so much work to do, I think that might be a bit much. But if it's my boss is provoking me, and me and this person did the exact same thing, and it's race related, or
Or I have to
is
hold it
eating at
in.
him, and he's been dealing with this for a while. Not just it just happened today for the first time, but yeah, come on, man, let's talk about it. If you got to cry about it, and I won't tell nobody that you cried. That's between me and you.
Or even if he
Mm, I
works in
believe
my
that.
career, if he works in my career and say he lost a patient that he was really close to,
He could cry.
he can cry.
what what I do want to say this. If you do see a guy that cries over something that you might deem like, dang, you crying over that. I would venture to say you should dig deeper and find that, because that one little thing might have been just what broke his spirit.
Right.
Hmm.
Everything else that he was going between everything else that he could have been going through.
It's not up to me to tell a man what he can and cannot cry over. Do I want
But
a man
that's
who lacks emotional control? Because there's a difference. Because there is emotional control. Um, like no, I don't want somebody who's crying. Oh my God, the leaf fell. Oh my gosh, like crying every 5 minutes. That's a little different. But
Brandy is so
my
silly.
job to tell a man how, what to cry over.
But I think that also goes back to relationship. Like I said, if he's been dealing with this for a long time or whatever. If we're communicating outside of text, hello, I should know, a lot of stresses that are going on. So when it's something small and he is like emotional about it, I should be able to say, okay, it was a lot, going on. And I think that, yeah, I want somebody that can cry, even if it is small. Let me be the judge of it.
Let me
Right.
ask
I
you
like
this:
Like
communication.
Ashley, I don't
That,
want a sociopath.
Does it matter
Okay.
for
go ahead.
a woman if it's because there are two type of men that I think that cry that
Hmm?
I'm over as a
Hmm?
man. The angry cry, like we get it, you're angry, you want to punch walls. Does it matter if the angry cries or the you caught me in a lie cry? Some men
Mm-mm.
will the you caught me in a lie, you caught me cheating, it's my fault, and I'm so guilty about it cry. Do those affect women? Do those
Mm.
work? The angry cry and the guilt cry.
The angry cry, yes.
Is this acceptable, you're saying?
Depends on what the situation is. Because like Ashley said, it could have been something where he was dealing with something racist at work or something like that, like something that's overly stressful, and then he's angry. So yeah, I would be okay with that. Now the you caught me because I'm cheating. Now that's manipulative.
Right.
So yeah, the cheating cry is not gonna, it's not gonna boat over
That's not
well
gonna work for me.
at
I'm gonna
all.
sit there and look at you like,
But the angry cry, yes, because I angry cry. So I get it.
Mm,
I get it. I understand
yeah.
it. But you stubbed your toe, sir. Sit down. Like some cries just aren't going to work. And I'm not saying I'm going to be the judge of it. I'm not like I can't tell a man when to cry and when not to cry. Yeah, but I can look at you sideways when you do.
And I'm working. That's something that I'm actively working on. Like
On what?
I judging certain situations
Mm.
because I didn't grow up like that. Well, my dad, he didn't show fear. Even if he was afraid, I just didn't see it. So when this one guy, it was like a bug, and he's like, like, trying to get out the way of the bug. And I'm like, who shows that? Like, what kind of
Actually, I
man
know
would
you ain't
show?
talking about when that bee almost stung me because I'm allergic to bees.
I was not talking about you, but thank you for that. But no, seriously, it's like I have to stop using past stuff to judge this person or to determine what kind of man he is. Because
Have you guys ever seen your dad cry?
I've,
Mhm.
I've seen my dad cry
Okay.
twice, three times.
Huh, really? Wow.
Was it? You don't have to tell me why, but was it death related all three times?
None of them were death related.
Right, what?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
But
also I've seen.
hold on. To go
Go
off of
ahead.
what Ash was saying, like I just found out recently that my dad does not like sticky frogs. I just found out recently. He's not a fan of sticky frogs. He would prefer not to deal with sticky frogs. But
What kind
he
of frogs?
a sticky frog. You know
The
the ones
wet
that
ones.
Oh, the water. Oh, yeah,
the ones that stick to
with the
stuff.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, and they be looking at them. But there was a time where we were in the truck, and I'm telling you that sticky frog was this big. I ain't lying to you. I ain't lying to you. My daddy caught that thing with his hand because I was scared. Caught that thing, grabbed it, threw it out the window. Like, and I like, I guess in kind to what Ash is saying, I I am that girl. I am that girl that's like, oh, my daddy. So you got. I'm not trying. You can't be
That's
exactly like
tough,
my daddy.
boy.
I know that's
That's
impossible.
tough.
I know it. But my daddy,
I gotta catch a sticky frog for you. Is what you're
you
saying.
may have to
No,
right
it's not
now.
even catchy. I think because I've always known my dad didn't like them. That's never been, but my dad didn't show like, oh, he
Right.
just would do it. And so that's what I got accustomed to. Just face the situation and don't make a
And
scene about it.
then
And I
it was
think that, and I think to in fairness of my dad, my mom is the same way. So it was
I
on
was
both
just thinking.
sides.
I was
She
just
would
thinking.
say,
Y'all, right. I just was
my
thinking that.
mom had a thing, you die without making a scene. If you're choking in public, you just lay on that floor. You don't flail around and make a scene. Seriously,
Dr.
my
Jackson,
mom,
they're dead serious.
no, my mom told me that. She said, you die gracefully. You don't make a scene. I'm thinking,
No, no,
what
tell
kind of
the truth.
foolishness is that?
She said that while you were choking.
Can you not? Don't do my mom.
She
that's
didn't just say that
legit.
in she didn't say that in theory. Literally at that moment she looked at you choking and had deduced that you're out of there and you should go quietly.
So now I have a question. The realist, being
Hold
that
on.
your mom is my mom's sister, is she the same way?
No, my mama's scary.
I mean, does she believe? Does she believe you die gracefully? Basically.
I told you she's scary. Nah, you
She'll
talking?
be screaming and hollering.
Yeah, she don't
You
like.
know, because
One little bolt of lightning, and now y'all call her scary.
no, because that when I was choking, that actually happened at the Antioch Fashion Show, Leroy, that you put on a long time ago. And
Man,
all of us were sitting at the table, Auntie Nene, Auntie, your mom, my mom. And when they realized I was choking, your mom was like, what's wrong with you? Why you didn't say something? My mom looking at me like, you better lay down on that, put your head on that table and go
Go
head
to
on and
sleep.
go out. Right.
Go to sleep. Go ahead, G.
So with the
That's crazy.
so you was fixing to die.
I was
Literally,
dying.
literally
Gracefully.
dying. The first time she told me that story, I didn't
Hold up.
believe it.
Go ahead, D. That was my fault.
Gracefully.
Well,
Can't
also,
nobody save you.
Right.
I don't, especially when it comes to physical pain.
Uh-huh.
Physical pain. So I know we
Just
all
die.
joke. I know, but did you die though?
just,
Um,
just
Go ahead,
quietly.
D. Sorry, Leroy. Go ahead.
but yeah. So when it comes to physical pain, like women always joke about the fact that we can tolerate pain a lot better than men can. You know, when men get the flu, they act like they have cancer. Um,
Come on now. That's
That's
sexist to
real life.
say.
That's real life.
Come on now.
is it? Is it
So
though?
somebody coming to kill you, you can't even scream.
Be quiet.
No one sign, no nothing.
You ain't
Hmm.
gonna you ain't gonna do my mama like that, but the answer is yes.
I'm just
Go
saying.
ahead.
You better not dial 911.
Take your death like a woman.
Somebody mute him and go ahead, Dr. J.
But yeah, but of course, I've seen men in some of their worst times, like
Right?
dealing with the worst amounts of pain. Of course, like men who come in the hospital with like urinary retention because they have a blockage because their prostate's enlarged, like or people with kidney stones. Like those men
That's
come in
legit
like
pain though.
that's what I'm saying. So when they're expressing severe amounts of pain, that's expected for them to cry. But of course, some of them cry. But you know what? But you know, the people who will not cry, they won't even crack a tear. Asians, they
Really?
won't even crack a tear unless they're Americanized Asians. But
Mm-hmm.
Asians, like most people, like Chinese men, Japanese, they do not even crack a Korean men. They don't crack a tear
Wow.
despite
Right.
being pancreatitis, being urinary retention, kidney stone, none of that. The stuff that people generally cry over, they're not even cracking a tear.
My dad must be Asian.
Hello. But no, legit. Like, for example, here's an example of physical pain. My dad got cut in the face with a chainsaw.
Physically,
You think he
actually
cried?
cut.
He didn't even go to the hospital first. He came to my grandma's house first, and then went to and just had a little rag on his face. You could tell it was bleeding, and then went to the hospital. But I'm talking
I,
about stubbing your toe,
But
like you.
sometimes,
Oh,
but sometimes the deep
ooh.
cut, it doesn't hurt as much because it
I'm talking
severs the
about
nerves.
stubbing a toe.
No, I understand, but stubbing your toe hurt though. That hurt.
Cry worthy.
and if it don't make you cry, to make you cuss. Thank God for the Holy
That's
Ghost.
what I'm saying.
But
It's like
I think
stubbing your
that
toe hurt.
I think our perspective as my dad's children, I think we're the ones with the problem. I'll be honest.
I
We're the
agree.
ones with the problem because we've said, well, we saw this, and so this is the standard.
This is the
And
I,
it's
norm.
taken a lot of
Mhm.
personal work to get past that for me.
I, I stopped crying at the age of 8 when my mom passed away. I remember I cried so much that I said I wasn't gonna cry again. Then when I was about 14 and got in church, the only time I would cry was in church, and it wasn't that I was sad, but like worship music, that was the only time, and it wasn't really crying; just tears would fall.
Right.
It wasn't until 2017, 18, maybe even 19 that I
Sit up.
cried
Sit
this
up.
year for the first time because I felt like June, July, August, I was going through some church stuff, personal stuff, and I felt like I was at my worst. And my friend, for the first, I mean, literally, it was a terrible day, terrible night. My friend let me cry with them. It was a female
Oh,
friend, and I cried till I had the snatches. And I remember thinking, right. And I remember
that's that
thinking
good
to
cry.
myself, and they was praying too. And I remember thinking to myself, I wish I had never lost that. Not that I wanted to be a crybaby, but there was something different about that cry. And my life ain't perfect now, but it's been better since I cried. I just want to say that for the record.
But
Mhm.
that's
It's a
different,
release. It's a release though.
It's a
right?
human response. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
different. I'm cool with that kind of crying. Like, at what point? I'm gonna ask all y'all. At what point does a dude become a B when
Mm-mm.
he's emoting,
When he's what?
being emotional, expressing emotion
I think if
from that
he's with,
person?
I think if he's with me, and like Dr. J said, he has emotional control. It's not the okay, the wind blew and I'm crying. It's you're not crying all the time. If you're in a relationship with me, because I've been with somebody who didn't cry, who didn't, and I feel like I won't do that again because a guy crying is also building an emotional attachment with that woman.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
showing us a certain level of vulnerability. That person that did not cry
Yeah,
was
that's
able to
good.
leave a long lasting relationship and never look back. Had no
That's
feelings
good.
towards it
That's
because he
good.
Mm,
never emotionally connected
mm.
with me.
Oh,
So if
that's
you
good.
never cry, I
It's
don't want that
Maybe that's why I started
because
crying when I
a dude
started.
I
That's
a dude
good.
I was dating. The only dude I ever loved. The one time I saw him cry, I was like, "Ooh, I really love you now." I felt so
Oh,
connected to him, so
yeah,
wow.
like we in this now, or we in it now.
right.
Wow.
There's a
That's
level of
something.
vulnerability there,
Yes,
and it allows me to display how much I care about you in that time that you're crying. That I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to bring this back up in a negative way.
Mm,
That's a building block in a relationship. And if somebody I'm dating hasn't done that, we would never get to marriage.
agreed.
I'm not marrying nobody that hasn't cried in front of me.
wow.
Ooh,
Somebody
that's
said I've been with someone that didn't cry with me but cried with others. Ouch. Is that a
yeah.
girl or a male that just
It's
put that up?
female.
That's yeah.
Wow,
Tasia.
Mhm.
that's tough.
Wow, that's tough. If a
Yeah.
guy's not crying with you but he's crying with others, that's tough.
Yeah.
If but I mean if he's had reason to cry with you, or well, it depends because sometimes you don't want to cry in front of certain people because you're not there yet. So I can almost get that, but
You better cry with
yeah,
me.
that's still tough. What if y'all watching a Netflix movie? It's a chick flick and it's a tear jerker, and you look over there, he, he
I might laugh.
So
I might laugh.
I've had a situation where I was watching a movie and something was about to happen and he refused to watch it. He was like, turn it off. Because we knew what was about to happen. It was about to be somebody passing. He said, nope, turn it off. And it's like, that to me is kind of I would have preferred to play it out and let him drop a tear than to cut it off.
He didn't
And
want to cry in
now,
front of you. He didn't
right.
want to cry. He didn't want to
No,
cry
I
what
in
was
front
get
of
about
it.
to
you.
happen?
Yeah.
What was about what somebody was about to
Somebody's
die?
about to die.
Yeah. Someone's about to pass away. And and that happened twice with that person. So I
Mm,
said, now, and I feel looking back, you should have cried. I would have preferred the tears.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
tried to say, no, let's watch it. And it was so stern of a nope that I didn't push it.
uh,
Right. It feels like you're keeping, and I agree. Don't be, you can't cry every day. You cannot cry. Don't you cannot.
yeah, I
So,
understand that. I
but
understand that too, though. With that gentleman, I understand that too. That Kevin Hart movie where his wife or something dies. I never saw it because in the first 2 minutes of the movie, when she dies in the first 2 minutes, turn this mess off. Ain't nobody watching this. Nobody got time for this. Trying to make me sad.
no clue what movie that is.
When he raised a little girl by himself,
I
I
I
don't
don't
remember the
know it
name
either.
of it.
It wasn't believable. It was horrible.
You're a film critic too since you've been back. Two thumbs down.
Well, tell us how you really feel. So he
It
raised
wasn't
the
believable and it was horrible. Got that.
check.
What if a man cries because he can't perform in the bedroom?
My.
Ooh.
Brandy's an idiot. I'm getting off this live with you. Every week I say I'm not coming back, and here I am. Every single week.
Wait a minute, my guy. You so you wait.
Ashley, come get your
You
sister.
crying because you cannot. What are you crying for?
Because I tried, and then you tried to try for me. Grown people. and it still didn't work. And I'm crying, sitting on the side of the bed. You cry with me,
I
or
could be
you?
the one crying. Me. No. I'll let the
Me.
ladies answer that though. Ladies.
I'm confused at what you're crying about. No, that's I'm saying if it's like you're just in shock and you feel like this is a huge problem, like a
I'm
medical
embarrassed.
issue. No, not
Right.
embarrassed, but a medical issue. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, let's cry about that. But because it happened and you just crying because you're embarrassed with me, it's like I don't want that.
What's that?
Let's don't cry because you're embarrassed. Just turn on a movie.
Oh,
Let's just watch a movie, okay?
oh,
But if
see,
it's a
that's a
medical issue, then yeah, and you're concerned about your health, okay.
Right. If okay,
that's a
I
real
can
nice
accept
answer.
that.
Dr.
If
Jackson
you
looking like you bet not cry.
I can accept that. If you had just come from the doctor and they told you something, you're like, no, it's gonna work, it's gotta work, it's gonna work. And then you get and then it doesn't, and you
Like
like, oh
Brandy.
man, I'm in a pickle.
Literally. We're in a pickle, Dick.
Or even if you didn't come from the doctor, but you've had other symptoms that you haven't discussed, and you're like, okay, this is like something might be wrong. Because I've had things, like I get headaches and I start getting other symptoms. I'm like, okay, wait, something's wrong. Something's wrong. So, if it's medical, then I'm like, okay. But
And
other than
then
that, it's nothing to cry about.
it sinks in more and more and more. What if your friend cries to you about him not being able to?
Me as a dude,
Yes, because when does a guy become a B with to y'all?
you know what I was just thinking? I can't think of any situation where it's been normal or I've experienced a guy crying with me or me crying with a guy. Um, Other than my blood brother, about like Mother's Day, my brother decides to hang out with me and listen to sad music. So we cry together.
No.
And no, all in 2017, 18, when I told y'all I got healed and started crying in other places, I ain't hung out with my brother on Mother's Day or my mom's death date since because I'm not getting up and playing sad music to make me cry. That's silly. I'm not doing that no more. That's over. I did that long enough. So for me, I've buried myself in great friends. Those days are not tough days as tough for me anymore because of it. But I think a guy crying, man, I've been around some guys. I mean, I've been incarcerated. I think I've shared that on this platform before, where guys go to court and come back with a 70-year sentence and don't cry in front of us. You know what I mean? I want to
Sociopath.
cry for them. I want to cry for them.
But hold on, let's be honest. The nigga knew he had already accepted that was gonna be his
That
reality.
part.
Who
You know
who
what
That
I'm
did
part.
saying?
Leroy? Who did?
The
He
nigga did.
like,
You know what I'm
The
saying?
nigga,
He already knew going to court. He
the
already knew
nigga
what time.
did.
He knew he was gonna do. So he knew he wasn't getting out until
Right,
he was too old or dead. He just ain't know what the time was gonna be. So when he
right,
Right.
came back, he was just like, okay, now I know.
right.
You know what I'm
Because it's
saying?
like grocery shopping. You don't
Yeah,
know the
yeah, yeah,
exact
yeah.
total, but you know roundabout what they
I was hoping
cost.
for 30, but it gave me 70. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, but I can't think of a situation where I do know one time a homework, 3 days he cried with us. He was engaged to this girl and she cheated on him
Mm.
with a musician. And anybody grew up in church, that's the worst thing your girl can do. She cheat with the deacon, cheat with the preacher even. But a musician just don't do it. And he literally he asked her, he asked her did they do oral sex. He was okay with the cheating. But when she said that she put that man's penis in her
Hold on,
mouth,
hold on, hold on, hold on.
that joker cried for 3 whole days about it.
What what I I'm gonna tell you what I really find interesting. I find interesting that he wanted to
Damn.
know the details. If you cheated, I'm already expecting the worst. I'm already expecting, you know what I'm saying? Y'all done did everything, you know.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm already thinking you done throw them out. You know what I'm saying? You done, at the end of the day, you feel me? So I ain't gotta ask for no details.
I
You-
hear about some guys who ask for the details. Was he bigger than me?
That because the thing is, it don't matter. Even if he was, what can you do about it?
He stressed you out.
What can he do about it? You can't do nothing. You gotta lay down and wear it.
Right. Yeah, but I think that's probably the only thing that I could see a man like the way, I mean, it may be whack to cry about it. That's the only thing that I could think of in my life that a guy just sat on and cried with me about. Mm-mm.
I don't know. I had some dudes cry with me about their mama, you know what I'm saying, about their
Yeah.
dad, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, like family members or dudes at my church and stuff like that, like going through a rough time and stuff. Yeah, man, we sat there and cried with each other and just was just like, man, dog, I feel you, dog. It's hard out here. So I don't know.
But that makes sense. I'm talking about the times where you like, man, you really acting like a little girl right now.
Oh, yeah. I had this one dude who I knew at the church. He just started. He just started dating this chick, and 2 weeks in, she don't want to fool with him, and he in tears. I'm like, nigga, how you get there that quick? You know what I'm saying? Now, I
You
thought
there real
that
quick.
was like, you gotta let him hang, G. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that would probably
What
that.
you said, D?
No, I said not let him hang.
Yeah. He had them things tucked up in his stomach.
Oh my god.
I think you could. I think you could actually legit. Well, I believe that you could actually legit have deep feelings for somebody. Not me personally, but somebody else have deep feelings for someone in 2 weeks.
You think who?
I think a person can have legit feelings for someone in a short time frame.
I
No.
agree.
I don't disagree that a person can have
Strong
strong
feelings.
feelings for somebody in a short time frame. I do agree. But what I struggle with is for you to act like y'all been together for years, like you just lost your better half, and you ain't ate in a week and a half, and so I see you at church next week, you still crying, and you done lost about 6.5 pounds, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you straight?
Sound
You know,
like you have a great diet plan.
come on, he at the strip club, ain't doing stuff you wouldn't normally do. I'm like, nigga, it's that deep?
2 weeks.
Two
I'm gonna
weeks.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna say it.
But you know what it could have,
To,
but I understood though, because
I was just gonna say, what could it have been? Say what it could have been.
no. I don't think it was the snapper. Because I don't. It
Oh, okay.
wasn't. No.
Cause,
I think
cause, cause
because
I
he
was
one,
gonna say,
one of them dudes that you would see and you would realize you probably would think I understand why he's single, if that makes sense.
Mm.
It doesn't make sense at all. Please explain.
Um so like if it was like three men and three women, right?
Mhm.
Like he would be the one where the third girl would be like, I'm straight.
that ain't right.
No, I'm just saying,
I,
you understand what I'm saying?
everybody knew exactly what you meant,
That's not
and thank
nice.
God I've never been that guy. But I do. That is, yeah.
So I
Right.
think
That's tough.
I think what happened was when he finally, somebody took into him, he,
Yeah.
he was like, you know,
Overjoyed.
yeah, because now, what I'm saying, I finally got somebody, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
This my only chance.
It's my only
My
chance. Now, this is the end of the world. You
my
know what
my
I'm saying?
That's
dad
not funny.
my
Hold on,
dad said it's two
I
things make a man
apologize,
not
young
eat.
man. I just thought about that.
My dad said it's two things make a man not eat. Either he in love or he's sick. Love make it. Real love. You could be there in 2 weeks, Leroy.
In
Especially
two
if
two weeks,
especially if I don't know. Yeah, I think
Now, if I'm
you could.
texting you for 1 week and then we only hang out twice the next week.
I've had guys tell me, and I'm not to my own horn, but beep beep.
Two.
Right. I've had guys tell me that upon meeting me, that you're the kind of girl that'll get you. Like you're the kind of girl people fall in love with.
I agree with that. I think you can see that in a woman like that. Yeah.
I've
I,
had
I,
guys tell me, and it happens more often than not. You be like, I love you. I'm like, we ain't known each other but 2 weeks.
That's it.
Legit. And I
I
thought it
will
was just,
say
I thought it was just like for the
And
first time, I was like, okay, you just playing, you trying to run game. But when it continually happens, I'm like, oh,
it also is
they be
contingent on.
crying and they be crying and stuff, and they don't be eating for weeks at a time.
I don't know.
Oh,
I ain't talking
boy,
to you
okay.
after I said we ain't talking, so I don't know what's going on.
It's also contingent upon what type of woman a man has been with. Every now and then, if you pick wrong, because people always talk about women pick wrong, like how you always pick a man that beat you, how you always pick a man that cheat on you. Dudes can pick wrong too, and sometimes when you find a real breath of fresh air,
Mm-hmm.
because see, you may not have known how good, but you know how bad was,
Yeah.
and in a week
Mm.
of her showing you a difference, you don't even know you got a whole stalker right before Christmas time. I met you on Black Friday, and I'm in your bushes on Christmas Eve. That's less than 30 days. we together real bad. You don't even know it. I don't put you as my emergency contact at my job. I done went down to the driver's license office, and they know if something happened to me on the iPhone, they calling you. You got no clue.
That's not funny. That's scary.
We locked in.
You know what? I think you can fall in love in
That's
2 weeks,
hilarious.
but I don't think I find it hard pressed to be that in love the way you depressed. Now that's what
Right.
that's,
Right.
that's what I'm
Right.
trying to communicate.
Yeah, because
Right.
you can be disappointed, like, dang man, I
Yeah,
thought I had something.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, but full fledged, dang, I thought we was going somewhere. We got off
yeah.
on the very next exit.
No, what I did to make her not want to be with me.
Yeah,
Right.
but I think to
Demeter.
be full
I thought you
to,
were gonna play with my phone.
To be
great movie. Great movie.
Right.
good movie. Well, not now. I mean, it was good at the time, but
Uh, oh
mm,
yeah, it's terrible now. That was a great movie.
we just
Dang,
laughed
that
at
was
it.
good,
We were
Ash.
wondering.
But I think I'm gonna be honest. I really
Ash, that was
believe
good.
women want men to be emotional about everything except them as it relates to how they're being treated by them. So I want a man to express
Mm,
that he loves me. He can
mm.
tell me about what he's going through at work. He can tell me about the struggles he might be going through at church. I want him to be
Oh
vulnerable with
yeah.
me and tell me, what it is he might be struggling with his mama. But then when it comes down to what I struggle with you,
Oh,
the
put
way
his
you show
put his cash app, Brandy.
the way
Brandy,
you
put his cash app.
the way
I'm
you
the
the way you
restored
show
church getting ready to sow into you.
the way you show up
You
for
got a
me when it's
ministry.
about you is not the same when it's not about you, right? And at
Hello.
the end of the day, for me,
That's not
I
true.
on
Oh no, he talking right. Keep going,
at the
Leroy.
end of the day, for me, you know what I'm saying? I would prefer to be shown. I need you to show up for me in that same capacity, right? With caring,
Mm,
right? With asking, being investigative, trying to find out why, right? And then coming up with solutions and really talking with me through exactly what I'm going through and how we can
all
work on
right.
that and build that versus it
Come
being
on, Leroy.
you attacking me. Oh, you saying this, and now
Oh yes,
we
Lord.
gotta have this whole conversation about we talking about instead of
Look at
how
Dr.
I'm
Jackson
feeling,
looking down,
you know what I'm
ignoring you.
saying? Now the conversation is about how what I said made you feel, and then
Yeah.
so I got to calm that down, right? but then we never get back to how I'm feeling, right?
Right.
Because
Well,
Can
listen,
can I say
hold on, wait,
something to
wait,
that?
wait, wait,
yeah.
right, hold on, wait. Before you do, for the first hour and 20 minutes of this broadcast, we've been dealing with fruit. Now we dealing with root. You hear me? We've been dealing with fruit. We're dealing with root now. This man should be protected. I'm going to call Joe Biden's Secret Service and tell them to come wherever you at because they wasting their time with Joe.
Okay,
He's out
come
of
on
there.
now.
But
First
listen,
off,
that
can
one
I say
thousand
something to
percent that
that?
is
That's
true,
not true. I
and
think
that's why
that
they call us the
okay.
B word. Go ahead, go
No,
ahead.
that's
I'm
not.
sorry.
That's not. I think that there's a difference in you venting about work and your mom and stuff like that, because it's not directed at me or about me. You can say it in whatever tone you want to say it in, and I can receive it. I think that it's not that I'm upset or feeling such a way. I think it becomes delivery because it does become now it is personal. So the
Preach that.
delivery can't be the same as oh them people on the job. Now it's oh you can't be doing that. It's like oh wait. I had because now I have to receive it differently. Like I have to hear it differently. When it's about me, now I have to. It's a different hat I have to put on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to put on a different hat when the delivery is the same, because now it does feel like I'm washed in there with everybody else. Because I know how you talk with this person when you're frustrated with this person.
That
So it's
sounds
not.
like
I don't want to hear.
gaslighting.
No, it's not.
It's
That's my
not.
Well,
opinion.
I think
And
that
it's not necessarily
And it shouldn't be. And I'm not saying that that's right. That it should be. Oh, you have to season it a certain way because it's about me. But I'm thinking that that's the hurdle. That's the disconnect
when we
because
talk,
it is about me.
and I do believe delivery is definitely important. So I'm not minimize that. But the context of when we spoke about being emotional, we started talking about we said when if he was crying. So we wasn't talking about harsh tones. We wasn't talking about coming off aggressive, right? When we were talking about me and being emotional. So I'm not speaking from the context of rah 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 rah
Mhm.
rah. I'm speaking from the context of
He's crying because of something I did.
well, yeah, not or
Oh,
crime,
okay.
and it may not necessarily be crying from a place where you see tears, but you can hear the cry in his voice. You know what I'm saying? Because I think people cry in multiple. We can but not by like literally definition
See, I
crying
don't.
tears. But I'm
See, I
just saying.
still don't agree with that because I feel like as a woman, you being emotional as a man because of something that I did, I think that that's welcome because for me, I'll speak for myself. You being emotional because I'm an emotional being shows me that you care. Oftentimes, women will do things they will act out in a negative way to get an emotional response. They'll call you belittling names to get an emotional response to see if you care. That's the way that a lot of women judge care and concern.
See,
that's
but
a
I,
bit.
I, I think, and I do agree with you, right? And I think when you respond as a lot of times you respond from the exception. And so I'm not speaking from a place of the actual, the exception, right? The anomaly, right? Like, because that's to me, that's what it is, right? Because if I'm saying that Gerard is saying, and I'm pretty sure if other men they would say the same thing. So it has to be something true about it.
Right,
A lot of these men can say the same thing, then we're not
right,
meeting the anomaly. You understand what I'm saying? We dealing with people that don't necessarily process like that. You feel what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
right,
thinking from the bigger picture in the grand scheme of things, I think when those things are communicated, no matter the tone, you know what I'm saying, whether it's when it's delivered in a calm way or when it's delivered in an aggressive way, I don't think it's necessarily delivery that has an impact as much as what's being said has the impact,
right,
right? And I think that becomes a bigger issue because whatever you might feel attacked, you might feel judged, you might feel I'm trying to say you're not doing something right or whatever it is that you might feel, right? Instead of hearing, dang, there's a piece of him that's missing that
right,
and that I could fulfill, and I'm kind of slipping on, and he's asking me to show up for him in that way, right? And how can I do that? And if you don't hear it that way, and you just hear it from, oh, you saying this about me, right? And everything is defensive, it's always gonna be tension. But I do find it interesting that on the flip side, it's okay for women to communicate how a man makes them feel, what he does, why he when he did this, you understand what I'm saying? But then when you say, okay, so you attacking me now? No, I'm not attacking you. I'm just telling
I
you how
can't have feelings. I can't
right.
have feelings,
But it's still
so I
all
can't
about. I
feel
think it's
away.
about the delivery. I don't think it's about what's being said more so than it is the delivery.
Right,
You could say something.
Brandy, I'm trying to. That's why I just said the acid. We not talking about the anomaly.
And I
But
think
we
you're
also
saying
can't
that
control how they deliver it, though.
it's okay for a woman to say how she feels, but it's not okay for a man to say that. I think that's what the realist just said. It's acceptable, but I think that's not our fault that it's acceptable. That goes back to rearing. If you're in a household with a dad who has a boy and a girl, he always asks the girl how you feel. That you could tell me, you could say it, and but when he tries to show emotion, it's like suck that up. So we're taught that at a young age as females
Hmm.
that we should be able to express how we feel.
I
Oh, that
agree.
hurt you. That hurt you. Oh, that's daddy, little girl, or
What's
mommy.
wrong? What's wrong with my
What's
princess?
wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? We're taught to be comfortable saying how we feel, and that we're taught that it's accepted to do that. So I can't. I think that to say now that we're adults, we have to feel something, like kind of turn that off or
No, that's
question
not.
that.
No,
I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, turn it off, but we have to question and say, why is that acceptable for you to do it and not me to do it? That's because our parents have taught us that,
but
especially in
that's
Black
not what I'm
culture.
questioning. I'm not questioning why it's acceptable for you to do it and not me to do it. What I'm questioning is why is it that when you do it, it's not you attacking me, but when I do it, we're doing the same thing. It's me attacking you because you haven't been taught as a little girl that when somebody tells you how they feel, that's somebody attacking you. That wasn't taught, but you have been taught to express your feelings. So I'm understanding that, but I'm saying the issue is if both of us are communicating how we make each other
Hmm.
feel, and you saying that when I do it, it's an attack. Then you do this. Then you turn around and tell me how you feel, and I say, "Well, you attacking me." You say, "No, I'm just telling you how I feel." I'm saying
Right. That's good.
I
it's
think they could be two
I think the
things.
answer is the same thing though. Is in that scenario of that little girl being able to express and her brother not being able to. Her brother has had the opportunity to learn how to deal with whatever she said. He sees it play out, how to deal with this girl's emotions. I didn't see it playing out. I didn't get to hear my brother complain or my dad complain and say how they feel. So when it happens in real life and I'm grown, I don't know how to respond to that. Now I feel like it's an attack because I haven't seen it played out. Unless you're just in a healthy two-parent relationship, two-parent household. So the answer's still the same. Childhood. Now that you expressing, I never seen that before, so I feel attacked because I'm confused.
I think
well,
that it.
I
I
find
think it
this. Oh
depends.
my
Hold on.
bad.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the relationship. So if we were telling each other about each other and how we feel about the relationship from jump, if we're sharing that from jump, it's not an attack. However, I feel like if we have been going on for let's say 2 years, and I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, and all of a sudden now you want to dump everything on me,
Hmm.
it's like, why didn't you tell me this last year? Why didn't you tell me this last week? Like, why are you giving me everything right now?
Women have a
That's when
habit
it
of doing
feels
that,
more
though.
attacky. And again, it's
Women have a
about your
habit of piling
delivery. It's
on.
not about what you're saying. It's about your delivery. Like we talked today, I think it was or the day before, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. It's your
Hmm.
tone that can make me feel like you're attacking me.
But women are the ones who tend to have the habit of piling on. Men don't tend to do that.
Oh no, I know. No, I disagree with that.
I strongly disagree with
But
that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
you, I'm just trying to understand because I don't disagree that tone has an impact on the situation, right? I agree, but that's why I keep saying what I'm saying is no matter the delivery, the response is still the same. That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
Not that oh well, because I delivered it this way. Shoot, no, I'm saying no
Even
matter
if she come in and
I
whispers and says, "I
even if
feel
I come
attacked."
in and even if you mean I
Yeah.
know men that come in and they gentle about, hey, I just want to talk to you about, you know what I'm saying, something that
Yeah.
transpired, this particular situation, and
Yeah.
you
can
you
speak
did
for
this
those
to
women.
me,
Right.
and you know what I'm saying, and it made me feel this way, and I really felt like you didn't respect me as a man, you know what I'm saying, and I don't want to be
You
emasculated like that, and because I don't want to be
yesterday.
emasculated, here's what I here's my request to you, and I need you to show up for me in this way. And the immediate response is, why you making me feel this way? Now I'm a bad person. Now I'm a horrible person. Oh, so now I'm emasculating you. So what about when you did? And it's just like, and I'm just like, well, dang, you know what I'm saying? First, I just communicated to you, first I was vulnerable, right? I'm being very vulnerable with you, right? Next, I'm clearly communicating, you know what I'm saying, the offense, right? I ain't screaming, and I'm telling you how the offense made me feel. Third, I'm saying we can even reconcile this. Here's what reconciliation looks like, right? For us to be one and harmony and be at one with each other, right? I need you to show up for me this way, so that way I don't feel emasculated, and I can, you know what I'm saying, show up the way I need to for you in return, right? That was clear as day, but it turned into what I just said. You made me feel this way, and it's just like, just because I said that and that's what that made you feel does not mean that that's what I was communicating, because I didn't communicate that. You understand what?
Right. And my
And I
answer is the
think
same.
people,
My answer is the same. But I'll say it differently. Because that woman is not used to that situation, or maybe she
Maturity.
is used to it, it's insecurity. She's going to an angry space or getting on the defensive because she's insecure or she's unsure how to deal with that. So let's just go on the defense, or let's just make it about me. I feel like she's going on the offense.
I think that it takes a lot for a man to open up and be vulnerable about what bothers him. But I think and that's not something that's just in romantic relationships with women.
Right.
Dr. Jackson, where you pulled the glasses from? Go ahead, girl. But so it's not just in relationships. You'll find that even after a relationship is over, sometimes that's a common thing. And I think when Ashley said it earlier and Brandy agreed with her out loud, that sometimes a woman will say things to get a reaction from you. I think that's a
Yeah.
continuation of that too. I think that they were honest, but I think what's missing in relationships today that grandparents had, and a lot of folks may disagree, is that they were good at acting. Like your grandma, once she knew what hurt your granddaddy pride, even if both of them knew it was true about him, they were good at tiptoeing around it, ignoring it, not acting like it was real or whatever the case was to keep the harmony. I think what has happened now, as we've started preaching self development more, a woman feels like she can express her feelings. And that's very dangerous because if your feelings are not rooted in logic or proper expectations, we say, well, you can't be wrong for how you feel. Yes, you can. If your feelings are not rooted in logic and what a sensible person should feel like, there's no way to gauge that. You can feel anything you want. So someone checking you and saying, no, no, I heard what you said, your feeling, and that's not valid. We say my feelings are valid. Not all feelings are valid. You know what I mean? And we have to be okay with that. I think women have a harder time hearing that. But if a man comes and says to you how he feels, and this, that, and other, and you feel attacked just from him expressing it, I don't think that that's the childhood trauma. Because even though the childhood trauma, you're used to being able to express yours, I think we bumped over what Leroy said. Expressing your feelings and being more comfortable doing it because of childhood trauma is one thing, but there is no childhood trauma or childhood rearing that says to you it's okay for you to expect someone to respond in a way you're not okay responding. That wasn't the lesson that a little girl learned. They
That
didn't
is
learn.
okay.
I, they learned it's okay to be expressive because somebody said, "What's wrong with you? How do you feel?" Talk. They learned to open and be expressive. But where did they learn when your sister or your brother or your cousin is expressive? You dismiss that. Where was that learning in childhood?
Not this. You missed what I'm saying. I'm done. You missed what I'm saying. I'm not saying they learn to be dismissive of other people's feelings. I'm saying as it pertains to relationship, because it's not you missed to you learned to be dismissive, but you didn't learn how to deal with the man's emotions. That's what I'm saying. That's like a child who you always, when they get in the car, you always let them talk. They're not good listeners. People that talk a lot aren't good listeners because they haven't had to listen. So people, you can teach people, like the way you're raised or the way people interact with you teaches you how to deal with that person. But I'm not saying anything about trauma. Like I'm not saying, because that's not traumatic to me. That's not trauma. That's just learning. But that's all I'm saying. Now let me hit mute.
Pause for a quick commercial break. While you're waiting, while you're commenting, while you're laughing at something somebody just said, please be kind and share the show to your page. Thank you for the support, and we look forward to doing more. I agree. I don't think we're necessarily taught not to ignore somebody's feelings, but we are taught to express ourselves.
Yeah, but I would have, in theory, right? I think that theory sounds good, great, but I also look at it from a perspective of even when we talk about relationships, right? Like, if you ever fallen out with your girlfriend before, when you was kids, y'all kind of had a falling out. Be like, girl, you did this, girl, you did that. Oh, da, 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 da. Oh, I ain't know. Da, da. And you talk through it, right? You like, all right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You sorry. Okay, cool. We reconcile, but you show up differently,
Mm-hmm.
even though both parties have communicated offenses to each other. You show up differently. So I'm saying you have to. Let me not say you have to. I believe that people have dealt with conflict, what I'm saying, in relationships where two people, have offended one another and they reconciled that. And I've seen girlfriends do that, you know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm saying that same space that you gave your girlfriend, you should be able to give to a man because you practiced that before, right? And it's not just to a girl, but it also should be, what I'm saying, to your significant other.
Right, but again, you're talking to now. This is the get you got you. You're talking to like you said, people who don't live that life. Where if you're expressing yourself to me, I'm like, why are you? It's like I'm listening. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more. But don't be talking about for me. And this is and maybe it could be. I guess like everyone said, it could be immaturity. Don't tell me stuff from 2 years ago that you should have told me 2 years ago. Then you're like, okay, you bringing stuff up just to find stuff, and that's not cute.
But
Well,
what if he just got to a space to where he just felt comfortable enough to bring it up, where he got enough, like, hey, I've been meaning to say this, but I just got enough courage enough just to tell you, hey, as I'm expressing this how I'm feeling. Do it gotta be?
No,
Dang, I
I'll
should have
accept
told.
that. I'll
Oh,
accept
okay,
that.
okay.
But don't be like 2 years and in 1924 you said, sir, say that. But again,
that's
for
fair. I
me,
think
it's all in how you speak to me. It's all because I'm not coming at you. I'm not. If my whole thing is, how can I say this so that we're talking tomorrow? I'm not coming to say it to hurt you. So don't come. Don't say it to me to hurt me. You're saying something?
But can somebody say something to you and you just be hurt, but that wasn't their intentions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because even if you say it in kindness, my feelings still might be hurt. But it's a difference from you coming at me all extra and then you coming at me with concern. Or let me rephrase that. It's different with me coming at you all extra and me coming at you with concern and expecting me coming at you extra, you to give me back care. Like that's insanity. So be vulnerable. You can lay your head on my. I'm here for you. Stelson, you were saying?
continue.
You were saying? I thought you were gonna say
So
something.
you continue.
Oh, I'm done. I thought you were gonna say something.
Well, okay. So I understand the topic or the conversation was about why are men, yeah, effeminate. I'm not gonna use that word, but why are men effeminate? So I want to know where this idea, where did you
grab this idea that men are effeminate? Is this
Good
like a
question.
personal experience or what? Where'd you get this?
I don't want to talk about it. No,
Okay.
it's not from a personal experience. It's not. It's just, it was just a thought in my mind. Was your most question time thoughts? And then I give it to the world.
Yeah, but most thoughts kind of develop from something
Okay,
you see or
you're not
witness.
forcing me to have a thought. I'm just telling you the exact. Like,
No, I'm not forcing you to have a
legit,
thought.
there was
I'm
legit
just
nothing that motivated it. If I had to use an example, let's go with Will Smith crying about his wife saying that they're not married and her entanglement.
what do you have against that?
That's a good question.
No, the question is, who said I had anything?
No, I asked a clear question. I mean, I think
I
the
didn't
other
say it
two.
wasn't a clear question. My question is, who said I had anything against that though?
Well, you
Don't come in here guns a blazing. You have no ammo. What did I say that made you think that I had something against a man crying? Because
was a logical
any
assumption.
of this show today, if you watch any of the show, I've expressed that it is okay for a man to cry.
But then in the same breath, you throw Will Smith out there for
Because you
doing
wanted an
that.
example,
So
dude. So
what's the truth?
Okay. Cool. You wanted an example. You were forcing an example. So I gave you an example. I had already told you that it just came in my head. It popped, poop, there it is, here you go. But you wanted me to give you an example. Am I lying? Other guest hosts? Am I lying? Hey.
You speak the truth.
I don't know. I gave you an example. That's it. That's it. I mean.
Yeah, so and I asked the question, I said, what problem do you have with that?
And
again,
I'm sorry.
I like your background.
Oh, thank you.
And again,
what about mine?
Said I had a problem against? No,
it's gorgeous.
It's very flat. Again, who said I had a problem against it? So, at what point is a man too emotional?
That's a new question. What point is a man? Okay, remember when I said that it's very important for a man to maintain emotional control, because a man who's highly emotional is highly dangerous.
Right.
How so?
So a lot of men, when they well, I'm not gonna say a lot of men, some men, when they get extremely upset, angry, they can become extremely violent. So, because anger is definitely an emotion as well.
Isn't that people, period, though?
Yeah, but some people take it to the
violent
level where somebody might die. For example, if a woman cheats, a man might chop her up into pieces and you'll never find her body.
Legit.
And then there's Lorena Bobbitt, who, that happened.
Well, men's fists are violent. Women's words are violent.
So you don't believe that men's words can be violent?
It's not what I said, though.
Kind
kind
of. That's kind of what you said. Kind of.
I don't. Let me say this for the record. I think that words can hurt,
Absolutely.
but I don't think that words. I don't think words can do damage, but I don't think that a woman's words, although damaging and can do permanent damage, I don't think that a woman's words equate to a man physically punching or abusing a woman.
I think so. I've messed with a guy and he was like, you said this about me, and he would not let it go. Like he just felt like my hair is sticking up. He just felt like you said it and that's that. And no matter how much I tried to prove otherwise, like I don't feel that way anymore, he wouldn't let it go.
Well, Jay, I have a question.
You don't feel that way. Can I ask what I asking specifically?
Well, What can
Ask
I
what?
say
Because
something to that too? Yeah, go ahead.
you said don't feel that way anymore. So was it something that was situational, or was it something that was generally about him?
I I will say that I never felt that way, but those were the words that I used. And so when I tried to explain that I don't feel that way, it was like, no, you said it and I'm holding it.
I'm a firm believer that words are
Yeah.
they heavy. Words are heavy. Forget the physical. Words are heavy. They just stick with you.
You want to get a mirror, Ash, so you don't use the camera as one?
She cute. Yes, you use it because she cute. You use that and you cute.
You just sitting over there like, we can see you.
Stop looking at my box.
Hello. I
Whoa.
think definitely words
Pause.
Right.
are much heavier.
Stop looking at my box.
Looking
That's
at your box.
nasty.
Pause.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Y'all go to church. I think words are violent.
A
I think
restored
words
one,
can be
actually.
violent.
Agreed.
Words are violent.
So did you
So
have
do
to
we all
say?
agree with that?
You said
Now
what?
what?
I said, do we all agree with that then? That words that if men's fists are violent, women's words are violent.
No, we're
I
not.
think
I'm not agreeing
We
with
didn't
that.
agree with that.
Y'all just agreed the words were
no,
violent.
I'm
we're
Now
not
y'all
not. We're
agreeing
not.
that.
We
We're
disagree.
not
agreed that words are
agreeing
violent, but
that
we
it's
didn't say
gender.
women.
That it's
It
gender
wasn't gender
specific.
specific.
Right.
Right. I'm not agreeing with that statement. I'm agreeing that words, period, are violent, whether it's from a man
And
or a woman.
and fists, period, are violent.
Whether it's from a man or a woman.
Right.
Well, who speaks more words per day, man or a woman?
Oh,
Okay.
it
Let's
depends
get
on the
back to the
man.
topic. Can we
Because
get
I
back to
mean,
the
when it comes
topic?
to you speak a lot more words than me.
Part.
I got to go with these classes.
It doesn't. So right.
I got to go.
Your
Come on here for
definition.
this.
How vulnerable can how? Let me go to this part. Your sons. How much will you be fine with your son crying? Can he cry as much as? Can he only cry as much as you expect your man to cry?
You talking to me?
Anyone.
No.
That just made me tear up thinking about that when you said your son. I want my son to be vulnerable. Him crying makes me sad, but I don't want my son not to be in touch with his emotions. I feel like I think that looking back, the reason I stopped crying at 8 because I didn't have a safe place I didn't feel. So I think if my son is not vulnerable, what I'm really saying is my son does not have a place where he feels safe, and that is sad.
My son rarely cries, and usually if he cries, it's because
You
either
spanked
something
him.
really bad happened, or it's like he's just in a really emotional space, and I give him the space for that.
No.
I think it's a
If
matter of
go ahead.
no. I don't think it's a matter of being vulnerable more than understanding your emotions and what they are capable of, causing. If you get too angry, it can cause an issue down the line with your anger. If you're if you're crying too much, that can cause an issue. So I think it's just understanding their emotions more so than being vulnerable.
I would expect if I had a son, I would expect him to show more emotion than his dad because you have to learn how to process things. So even as a woman, as a little girl, I cried way more than I cry now. I was actually talking to a woman today. She's turning 51, I think. And she was talking about how she doesn't cry as much as she did in her 30s because now she's like, hey, this is not that bad. This will pan out. The sun's going to shine again. Because of experience, she understands that. So I would expect any child to cry more than that adult counterpart for sure.
But I think
Like I cry more now than I did as a child.
That
You think you were saying?
I think coming from a man's perspective, though, since we're not as emotional as women are, we're not going to look at it from that standpoint. We're not going to want our sons to be emotional because that's not the way we operate. We operate off of logic. So you rationalize it. That's why I say understanding your emotions.
But
So
the
you didn't
question
hear
was,
at all.
Hold
You
on.
didn't hear at all what
but the question was, do you expect the son to be as emotional as the adult counterpart? Like, basically, isn't that what it meant?
but Alpha, but Jay just said that he wants his son to express his emotions.
Has to.
So
Yeah.
and you're saying that men don't want that.
That's one of the healthiest things. That's one of the healthiest things you can teach a kid. To me, you could teach your son to do, not to suppress how he feels. And I think that so before I make this conjecture, let me ask you: when you say that men aren't emotional, they're logical. What do you mean?
I said men, we are more logical than emotional. Women process on emotion, we process on logic. That's nature. That's natural.
But
That's
even
not to say that we don't.
hold on. Look, the
That's not to
question.
say that we don't have emotion,
No,
but
I'm
we
not saying
process
that.
on logic.
But we process on logic off of an emotion, though.
But if we get emotional, we take our emotion, we process it. We'll say, okay, just for example, the woman you talking
Did you
to
hear what I
dating.
just said?
Yeah.
I said
Okay, repeat.
we process the logic
Logically.
based off the emotion, and you said that women process their logic based off their emotions. And I'm telling
I
you,
said we
well,
process on logic. They
we
process more on emotion.
that no.
I said,
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. He's saying for you to go ahead. He's still on.
Yeah, he's still
I
on.
said women process more on emotion. We process more on logic. That's the nature. That's not to say that we can't both take from the other, because we've already determined this in this particular live, not this particular live, but in lives before, that both men and women can have both equal parts. They can have masculine and feminine traits. The masculine trait is to be logical. Feminine trait is to be emotional.
I never said that we can have equal part masculinity and femininity in one person. One is going to be more stronger.
Well, we talked about it. It was a
Can I ask you?
consensus was
One
much
has
more.
to be
I
stronger.
have a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
I'm not advocating saying that is right or wrong, but my follow-up question is: so after a woman processes her emotions and she gives you a response, did that response come from logic?
I don't know. Ask a woman that question.
Right, but
I'm not a woman, so I can't answer that,
but
and I won't answer that.
but
So
you
you have
did it.
two women here, and probably
No,
another
no,
one
no,
But
too.
no,
you
no.
were just speaking for women, so that's why he was
Right. So
asking.
what I'm saying
All I
is,
said was women process more emotional.
I'm
We
speaking for
process
a
more
woman.
logical. That's nature. Everybody knows this. This is
That's
something
not
that
true.
is clearly been tested. Doctor can doctor it up for you. This is
But that's
something we
not
all
true.
know.
I
Now it's not true.
Okay, go ahead. The realist.
yeah.
Okay, well, why is it not true?
All I'm
That's not roots. That's not true across the spectrum. Everyone is
It's not
different.
true. Okay,
It's not.
it's not
It's
true.
not. It's
Now
not.
it's not
It's not. I'm. It's women are generally led by emotion, but we do have logic as well.
right, and what I was saying was our reason what our reasoning may come from a different place, but there's still a logical explanation on when a woman expresses something. I might say that don't make sense to me. I'm not literally saying that don't make sense, right? I'm not. That's not what I'm saying when I'm saying that don't. Well, sometimes I am, because sometimes it don't. But a lot of times it do make sense, right? But it don't make sense to the context of which I was speaking on. So that's what I'm saying when I say it don't make sense. I'm just saying it doesn't match the context to what I'm speaking on. Not that what you're communicating doesn't make sense, because logically I understand clearly what you're communicating, right? So, but it just don't make sense to that context. So all I'm saying is, even when women communicate emotions, it's still coming from a logical place, because they got to think about their emotions. Then they're processing that, and then whatever logic or reason they come up with from
They
their
just feel
process
it.
is communicate. It don't matter.
They
Even
just feel emotion. Have you never been in a situation where there's been women grieving, and just because one is crying about something, they could just come together and now they all crying about it?
Can I say something?
Sure.
And this is not nothing negative, but I am always confused and perplexed and befuddled that every time or certain times, and this I have gotten to know ST3. I've seen him in person, so this is not against character, but he will come on, and then the conversation will divert to whatever this is. Can we get back on topic and not have this conversation? Because we do this every time. It's like a curveball is always thrown, and it becomes a focus on back and forth with him versus getting back to the topic.
Yes.
I mean, is this not part of the
And
topic?
let
though?
me
It's
add
not
this.
because we weren't talking about that. I don't think it's the
Logical thinking,
topic.
emotional thinking.
Yeah.
And let me add this. When you share the live, deleting it from your page is not cool. But so when you have, so we're talking about sons now. When your son is emotional, so stupid. When your son is emotional, is what are you? Why can't your husband or your husband or whoever it is be as emotional as your son?
Typically, you would hope that your husband knows how to process his emotions a little bit more on a more developed level. Like he knows how to process it. However, but it's situational as well because it depends on whatever the situation is. Because my husband and my son could be crying about the fact that somebody passed away that's close to the family. So it's situational, but certain things that might be seen as, smaller, you would hope that your husband is able to process it a little differently.
Why can't a dude be as why can't a dude be as emotional or more emotional than than the female counterpart? And you can tie it to your situation. Why can't you, realist, be more emotional than your girl? Why can't D? Why can't your dude be more emotional than you?
Because ultimately,
Realist.
I know you're just waiting to hear me say this, but anyways, but it's like you would hope that the person that you're with can hold it together because, of course, women look to men to be able to lead, right, and to be able to lead without being overwhelmed by emotion. So if your man is more emotional than you are or expresses his emotions more than you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna call him weak,
But ain't gonna call him strong either.
but it's he just has no emotional control.
Okay.
Go
Really?
ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just couldn't. Me personally, it won't work. Yeah, that's true, Trey. Yeah, what Trey said, it just won't work. I can't. You know what it is? I'm gonna tell you. I I was gonna say society, but
Mm.
it's nature. Like naturally, you know what I'm saying? And maybe we've been conditioned that way, right? Maybe it's because we've been conditioned that way, but I just I just can't see it. You feel me? I just can't see it. I can't. I don't think
I
I
mean, I've seen relationships where that is the case. I've seen situations where that is the case. But typically you need like masculine and feminine energy. So sometimes the woman is the more masculine one in the relationship. Like she's more the strong personality and the man is more like nurturing. So sometimes that is the case as long as they're opposing energies, maybe it can work.
And this is where I am. One of us has to be the stronger, and one of us has to be the weaker. Um, like I'm I'm fairly good, and I'm working on it at holding my emotions. I'm not as vulnerable or as open with the issues that I have going on in my life, whatever the case may be.
But would you be
But
open to having a man who's more emotional than you?
no, ma'am, no. That's why, because it won't work. It just won't work. It
No
won't.
woman
Because
wants that.
I'm sorry.
Said no woman wants that.
No, it's some women that do want
That's
that.
what I'm saying. There's some women who are
Don't
okay with
cap
it.
me. No, it's not cap. It just won't
That,
work.
that right. Thank you. Say it again. Cap. Cap.
I
Cap.
want
Cap.
some-
Cap. Cap. It's cap.
I want someone that is. I want a masculine man, but you can have emotions. You can be vulnerable with me and expect for me to care for you. That's what I'm gonna do. But even though even though I am restrained when it comes to my emotions or when it comes to expressing myself sometimes, I still don't want no dude. No, it's just not gonna work.
You don't want to get hot, and then the dude get hot with you.
Wait, what? Hot with
I say you don't want to get hot, and your emotions get uncontained, and he gets uncontained with you. It's not good, right?
You can get he can get emotional with me, but he can't be more emotional than me.
Okay, in what senses? Like,
well, someone has to have control of the situation. You should be there should be somebody to rein it in.
Or even still, like, okay, say we're crying, or somebody, it's a crying thing, and I'm winging it here. It's a crying thing, and but he over there, sir. Like, what's going on right now?
Well,
like,
what are you crying about?
Rolling on the ground right now. Like, here's an example. Baby's born, right? It's both of our first child, and I'm emotional. I just poofed this thing out of my cooch, right? And he is like over there in a corner, like Martin.
But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that happens very frequently.
It's just an example, y'all. It's just an example.
Yeah, all right. I was like that happens.
Hey,
okay.
So when we speaking on emotional, we just speaking from a place. Y'all just speaking from a place of
hypothetical.
No, like tears, right? Because I believe passion is. Don't hear what I'm saying? Because I believe passion is an emotion.
Okay.
Right. And so, are you saying that he can't be? You saying that he can't be more passionate than you?
Good point. I can see that.
I think it has to do with expressing sadness. I think it's more expressing sadness.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Let's narrow that down so that because
I think we were gonna go into that. We were gonna go into that next, right? We're gonna go into that next because I'm like, there's certain things you might want him to
right.
Yeah.
You can definitely be more passionate. You can definitely be more in love. You can definitely be more overjoyed.
Yeah, be more passionate.
Crying every all the time. Come on now, like
right?
that.
No. That's what I'm saying. I just want to narrow down when you say he can't be more emotional than me.
That's the point I'm talking about. Like crying, and if your mom, like, in the circumstance, the circumstances matter. If it's your mom and your mom is passed, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be more emotional than me, more than likely.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, if it's not about sex or beating somebody up.
You said what?
I said basically, if it's not about sex or beating somebody up, don't get emotional.
No, there's more than that.
So you can be passionate about your career. You can be passionate about a hobby. You can be passionate about a lot of stuff. Why gotta be sex? But okay, I guess. So yes. I mean, does that make sense? Like, is that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That we're not just talking about sex, and in some instances,
listen. I need the same energy.
But what?
If we talking about sex.
Right. Sometimes I want to be more passionate. You know what I'm saying?
I need it. I don't know about.
That's fine.
I don't. You
don't want no dead fish.
I don't want no. Right.
No. Because for me, it's not even just laying there. It's for
stupid, man.
Yeah, for me, it's more of a, mindset thing too. Like I gotta mentally, for me to have great sex, right? Like I mean great sex, right? I ain't just talking about just getting off, right? Mentally, I gotta be I'm a big communicator, so I like to talk. You gonna have you ain't gonna talk. Oh, You don't want to talk. I'm gonna make you talk. You gonna say something. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna get it up at you. You feel
Right.
me? But what I'm saying is when I get it up at you, you know what I'm saying? I need you to match. I need you to match this energy. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's just like, you know, I be wanting to go places sometimes, you know, and through my experience that
Right. And you can be more passionate. Like sometimes I want to be yoked up. You know what I'm saying? Come here, girl. Come here.
yeah.
Like, you know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
Benny.
I mean, stop it. Keep going.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Like, and that's fine.
What about the expression of fear?
Did I hear you say you want to be yoked up, Brandy?
Trey, come on, Trey.
That's what I heard. You don't mind being yoked up?
Trey
Hey,
be getting his shot every episode.
my dog. Hey, my dog Trey say,
Oh,
come
Brandy,
on.
you just tell more and more about yourself all the time.
I try to listen.
And-
You'll learn.
Okay, I've learned enough.
So what about expression of fear?
Okay, this goes back to I'm gonna let the dudes answer this one first, and then I'll answer it.
This nigga Trey, that nigga real. Woo!
Cousin, what about the expression of fear?
I think it's healthy for that for a man to express his fears. You know what I'm saying?
But should he be more fearful than his woman? Like, I guess
It depends on the fear. Fear is fear.
It does depend on the fear. But if you're afraid of heights, don't get on the cart in the Ferris wheel. I don't want you up there screaming.
But don't ask me.
Yeah, but if she pull him, say, "Hey, let's go skydiving," he's like, "Ah!"
You don't love him.
No, come on, babe, it's good. Women be doing that to men all the time.
She don't love him. If she's willing to put him in that much fear, then there's a problem. But my thing is, and like Ashley said earlier, I didn't see a lot of fear coming from a man. I didn't see any fear coming from a man. Like, and where you know how my dad is, so it's like.
Well, let me ask you this. No, I'm not saying that it's not tough, right? Because I do believe that, you know, being unconditioned from something that you used to being is definitely difficult. They say the hardest thing for a person to do in the world is change, and I believe that. So, but I think the question you have to ask yourself is if somebody that you into, they did you like you dig them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they like, you know what, man, you straight, but and you ain't like my mama. You know what I'm saying? But you like them. How you respond to that?
I dig it, my guy. Legit, I dig it. I dig it. I hope you find your mama.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm not telling somebody that they're not like my dad. If somebody shows like, okay, say example.
Well, hold on.
The fear of heights.
Hold on. What I'm saying, Brandy, is you may not be verbally communicating that, right?
Right. Like, I get what you're saying.
So I don't think it's fair to say I'm not communicating because he may not know because I don't whether you gonna, but you know the reason why. So I'm speaking
because it's not because of my dad. It's because of what I'm used to seeing. I'm not saying you're not
from your dad though.
It's just I'm used to not seeing that. But if a dude does show fear, and if he's showing fear, I'm probably, and this is where I'm just gonna mess us up. I'm gonna laugh. That will be my first reaction.
Okay, like, what if he laugh? What if he laugh with you?
Cool.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But I might laugh first.
Cool.
Listen, I done seen grown men.
So you need a man who's not gonna show fear.
Is that what I said?
I'm just asking.
Man, my Uncle Shaq.
That's what I heard. I just wanted you to confirm it.
My Uncle Shaq, man, I ain't never seen, or my Uncle Michael Ray either. I mean, my daddy.
We got a whole family of dudes.
I've not in my whole, in his 68 years, no, 69 years of living, 67 years of living. I never seen my dad afraid of anything. Not
You got even like Uncle Nuki, Uncle
uncles.
Ron, like it. But anyway, and to answer your question, you can show fear. I'm fine with that, but it has to be a level that makes sense
It has to be congruent
to the situation.
situation.
It's a sticky
Okay,
frog,
like
or
okay, like
it's a roach, or it's a
Yeah,
lizard.
no, listen, flying
Sir,
roaches. Listen,
that's
I don't
different.
think
That's different. And if we say nothing about no flying one, don't
because the
speak the fly.
flying roaches, I done seen everybody hit the floor. To try.
Everybody scatter. If you don't scatter, my dad might not, but if you
If
don't
you know,
scatter,
you
it's a
know.
problem. But I'm saying it has to be, like you say, conducive to the situation. You can't just be. It's a lizard, my guy. Like it's a freaking lizard. It's a lizard. Like what are you doing? Now, if you're from the north and you've never seen one, I get it, because it's like, why are there baby dinosaurs running around the ground?
Yeah.
But if you see it again and you showing the same, oh, we got. I'm.
But we got some
okay,
iguanas though,
Yeah, them things fast. Have you seen
and
them
they
on?
big.
Them things. Oh, you from Miami? Them things
okay.
fast.
So big strong man, check. All right.
Big, strong man. I don't know what your
Mm-hmm.
definition of big is. I don't know what your definition of strong is. But if you can carry this family, you strong to me.
It's whatever your
If
definition
you
is.
can carry this family, you strong to me.
Solid.
Like okay, so you have fear, you have pleasure, you have like crying emotion. I think those are the main really ones, right?
Um, Anxiety, anger,
So okay,
confusion,
anger.
disgust,
I
horror, fear,
You can
excitement.
be more emotionally angry than me, but you cannot. You have to like I believe it was Stelson that said you got to be able to manage that anger. And I think D, you said something about directing the anger. You got to be able to manage it and know how to direct that anger.
Yeah.
If you don't shut up, man, if you don't go to.
Man.
I know you is strong. I weigh more than 70 pounds though, so can you handle it?
Oh my gosh. Surprise, pain, sadness, interest, doubt, triumph.
So I don't think like surprise and sadness. It again. You could be. I'm sorry. Did you want to answer the question regarding anxiety, Stelson? You feel
What
a
was the
man can be
question
more anxious
regarding
than
anxiety?
his female? He should be more anxious than his female,
Yeah.
or
What
more anxiety ridden than a female.
you said? What now?
Should a man be more anxiety ridden than a female, than his female
No.
counterpart?
No.
Why not?
Because a man should be calm. How can you protect if you have anxiety, if you're anxious? You got to be able to be in a position to determine the threat. If you're anxious, you're not using your logical sound mind.
Dog, let me ask you a
What's
question.
confusing about that, realist?
No, I don't think it's confusing because I think when we like I started to think like when they go for the hunt, right, and they have to hunt for meat, right? There's anxiety,
Good
right?
anxiety.
Right, good anxiety, right? So
Mm-hmm.
all anxiety ain't necessarily bad because a lot of times, sometimes, what I'm saying,
That's
depending on the
adrenaline.
person, it can make them
The
rise.
anxiety of your first date.
It can make you rise to the occasion, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So when danger happens, there is a level of anxiety, right? Somebody come kick in my door, nigga, I'm anxious, you know what I'm saying? Like what's going on? But knowing that it's a threat, being anxious like that lead me to what? Pull out my fire and protect myself. So anxiety can lead to protection in the right instance.
Well, I'm not saying that humans and men particularly don't get anxious. I'm not saying that's
Well,
not the case.
the question that you
But
said was, how can you be anxious and protect the person? That's what you said. So
Right,
I'm
yeah.
saying,
How can you live in that? How can you live in being anxious and protect someone?
I mean, that's what he was explaining, that all anxiety is not bad.
Well, and that's why I want to clear up. I didn't say anxiety was bad, but if you live in that,
Okay.
yeah. If the first time you're going for a hunt, you don't know what to expect, right? But normally you got other people who've been there, who've done it, who are helping guiding you along the way. So yeah, the first hunt is going to be anxious, but after the 10th, the 15th, the 100th, the 50th, the 100th hunt, this should just be second nature. If you're still getting anxious, then there's a problem. If
why?
you've already built up how to do
No,
the
you
thing,
can't
it's
even.
just
I
like
don't even think you
I'm,
can
I'm
believe
gonna put
that.
it into no, I'm gonna put it into a sense that the realist might understand. It's just like going to talk to a new chick, realist, right? You've already did it so many times before, right? So that 100th chick, and I'm just putting it out that you're gonna go talk to, there's the anxiety ain't there. You already know what you're gonna say. You already know what
Yeah,
you're gonna do. You
not for shoes.
Hold
I
on,
mean,
Paul.
It
Let me
you
depends
break
already
on
it
the
know
down
what you're
because
gonna
woman.
this is
say.
true.
You already know if she go
Unless
this
you
way,
are
you're
the
gonna counter
woman who
that way.
always getting
If she go that
rejected,
way, you're gonna
be
counter this
respected, be
way. If
rejected,
she
that is
don't
the
respond the
only
way you don't
time
want to
that you are
respond, you're
going to
gonna
be the
duck
reason
off
to
and
not
do
have
whatever little trick you
anxiety
got to do.
because you are
But you
used to
understand
being
that.
rejected, because you're used to people saying no. So you're walking up to this 100 chick expecting her to say no to you. Just like when you go to an audition, you're not if you have no anxiety about that audition, you don't care nothing about it.
Oh, well, then you shouldn't be an actor. There's a lot of people who get anxiety to this day after the
Whoa,
100th audition and
whoa.
still get anxious. If you're getting anxious after 100 times of doing something, you shouldn't be doing it. You just
Well,
don't.
let
You're
me
just
get
not
But
out.
cut out to
that's
do it.
not how
Then
that
let me
works,
get out.
though.
yeah, that,
I
That's
said
just the
that,
truth.
This is why I
It's just
said
like
it
riding a
depends.
bike. It's
You
just like
see, like
riding a
how you,
bike.
all right.
I think you may not be as anxious, right? Because
right.
there is a level of confidence that comes with it, but there's
That's what I'm
still a
saying.
level of
It depends on
anxiety.
the woman.
Because I sold dope for a long time. You feel me? And every time I rolled out with some green in the car, you know what I'm saying? Smoking and riding and serving. You feel me?
In the
Uh
past, in the
yeah,
You weren't
past.
anxious
yeah, who?
because
I
you were riding
was.
with it.
It don't matter.
You,
What I'm telling you is I
He's
was
explained. Let him tell his
if you was
story.
I was
anxious, you wouldn't have roll with it.
that
Right.
is
Let
not
him
true.
tell the
That
story.
is not that's what I'm trying. If no, I think it's better if you say if you was anxious, you wouldn't have rolled with it. Now that you can only speak for yourself. I'm telling you, I know for a fact I know I know other people who rolled every day like that, and they was very anxious. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only saying that to say, you know, even though I continually did it for a long time, right? It still didn't calm down the anxiety. I felt less anxious after the first 5, 6 times. All right, I know the ropes. I know I'm a bus buddy down on, you know what I'm saying, Dean, and you know what I'm saying. I know what the lick read, right? So I'm already knowing what time it is. So all I'm saying is,
Right, right.
That's a legit comment right there. I'm sorry, I had to put
Exactly.
it up. I'm sorry. That's a legit thing. Like
And it's the
straight
same
legit.
thing
up.
for
Thank
me
you,
when I was in
Trey.
the ER.
Thank
Same
you.
thing for me when I was in the ER. It don't matter how many times I ran a code. You still have anxiety. Is this person going to survive this code?
And that don't mean something wrong just
It
because
doesn't
you
mean anything's
feel
wrong.
anxiety. Nah,
It's still
that don't mean
anxiety.
something wrong.
Now,
Because it's
if
not.
my
And
dude screams every time, like if he's in 100 fires and he screams before each fire, then I'd be like, sir.
I think it's something wrong if you cause that anxiety, if the situation happens and you start to bring that anxiety on yourself. But I think when it's when it's something that's natural, right? Because when we get anxious, it ain't like I'm thinking, oh, let me be anxious, right? But there are times when I can overthink something and I put myself in a place where I'm over anxious, right? And I'm saying that part ain't healthy, but to something naturally like that you don't control, that just naturally happens, I think that's just normal. But bless you though, you know what I'm saying? You know, the fact that, you know, once you become so confident in something that for you, your anxiety diminishes. You know what I'm saying? We all should strive to try to get like that. But bless you that you like that, brother.
I was gonna say, like say even if the realist been with 100 women, right? Just say this, but he finds the one woman that he's been
Yep.
dying to be with, dying to
Real
be
bad.
with.
Sorry.
The first date with her, when he find that one, he's gonna be anxious. Am I gonna do this right?
Is it what the vibe gonna be like? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like,
It's gonna be it's gonna be anxiety.
but I'm gonna still be confident. You know what I'm saying? But it's underneath. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure.
I've read several books about like, just men, how they have like an underwritten anxiety because they live in this imposter syndrome.
Yeah, keep going.
They live in this imposter syndrome. So a lot of men actually stay in anxiety for a long time, and you might not see it on the surface, but because they live in the imposter, they're like, okay, they're constantly feeling like, okay, am I doing this right? Is she gonna find me out? Is she gonna find out that I don't really know what I'm doing? Call it what you want to.
So let's be so to clarify. You believe that, and it's Stelson, you believe that men should not be anxious for anything after they've done it once, and everyone else believes that being anxious for something. Well,
I didn't say one.
I'll say for me, being anxious for something means it matters to you.
I think what ST was trying to say, he was saying that he just used once, for example, but he was saying that once you continue to keep doing something, there's a level of confidence that comes
It's
with
like
that,
riding a bike.
with that, and now you become less anxious. You don't become anxious anymore. But I think when we start, because I think so. If you say like riding a bike, you're right. I'm not anxious when I ride a bike. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's something, riding a bike, right? Riding a bike, driving a car. I think that's something that again, situational. You know what I'm saying? That's something different than the nigga somebody kicking in your door. You know what I'm saying? Once, and then next thing you know, you hear that same noise, and you feel what I'm saying? It's just like Buddy said, he been in 105s. As soon as you get out,
that's being paranoid.
Paranoid.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Let me ask this then. Is it a lack of emotion when you are skeptical on everything?
No. No.
I guess skepticism is an emotion.
I think it's a lack of emotion when you're skeptical on everything, or it's a lack of emotional maturity. Because it's like,
yeah,
if someone kicks in your door, and the first time you're anxious about it, it's like, oh gosh. But the second time if somebody kicks in your door again, and you don't have any care for it, like you don't have any emotional reaction to it, he and I are done.
Well, you had it coming. If that's the case, if somebody's kicking in your door that many times, then you had it coming. What are you doing in your own life for somebody to be kicking in your door not one but twice?
Remember that guy?
You got to ask yourself. And then the whole thing about anxiety.
Shot him.
I'm sorry, what
was that?
I said, remember that guy who was, eating popcorn in his apartment, and then a cop came in his apartment and just shot him, killed him?
I understand that, yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to be doing anything.
I don't care if anybody
but
breaks
that
down my
doesn't
door.
happen all the time.
It
That
don't matter
happened,
how many
and
times
it's
that happens.
unfortunate
I'm
that it
going
did.
to
But
okay, we do understand that there's not just one robber in the world. We do understand that there are multiple people out there kicking in doors, waving the fofo, right? Okay.
But how many people are actually getting their doors kicked in on a day-to-day basis? What's the numbers on that? Since we run numbers around here.
It depends on the neighborhood you live in.
Who said anything about numbers?
It depends. No, but it depends on the neighborhood you live in.
Samuel kicked. Nobody said anything about numbers.
I mean, anytime we have a discussion, there's always numbers that come up. So I'm just
women are emotional and men are logical. You said that earlier. That was your number. 100% men are logical and 100% women act on emotion. That was your number. You threw numbers out there. Nobody else did. So
what about ecstasy? What if a man exhibits more ecstasy during the act than you do? How do you feel about that, Brandy? Like he's louder than you in bed. How do you process
if he is
that?
louder than me,
if he's moaning louder than you in the bed.
Okay.
Just a chance. Uh-huh.
You stuck.
I am.
Mm.
So if
Because ecstasy is an emotion.
at what point if
It's an
he
expression of
and
vulnerability.
and I'm glad nobody's if he when I done stuttered a little bit. When what now? What'd you say, D?
I said it's an emotion and it's like an expression of vulnerability.
Yeah,
It
that's a
is.
very
So if he
all this
first of
ecstasy.
all, calm down, Thompson, sir.
Who said I'm not
Calm
riled up or
down
nothing. I'm
too.
actually pretty
All
calm.
right. This guy. So okay. So if I were to be doing a nasty, which I am not, bless the Lord. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it like it is. Y'all getting on my nerves. Okay, so I'm gonna say it like this. I'll do it in phases. Oscar, stop it. If he is finishing, it can be as loud as he wants. Right?
Okay.
If it depends. If he's like, oh, like it depends on it depends on the noise he's making. That's what it depends on. You answer the question, D.
But if it's going so well for you, does that really matter what noise he makes? If he's just in there getting it all,
some noise they go distract us.
it's gonna throw you. They ain't doing a good enough job.
D, you go ahead, D. You go, D. Don't be
You didn't answer the question.
Brandy. I did.
Nah, you didn't. You danced around it.
I answered the question. I said I answered the question. What sure doesn't what? D, what you say?
What is he responding to? I'm curious.
I'm trying to figure it out. He'll add that in. Go ahead. Why he do that?
So if during the act, sometimes that would throw me off if he's like during the whole thing. I'm not talking about when he's hit the point of explosion. I'm talking about during the whole time if he's like, extremely loud the whole time.
Right.
Throw me off. I'd be like,
way.
Oh.
Like loud in what sense? Like grunting?
I know this good.
Oh
yeah. I know it.
Is it like that? What?
I know it's good. But
y'all get dudes that do that? Y'all get dudes that do that?
Like,
oh yeah. Y'all get that?
The whole time. It can be really distracting.
That's the kind of dude y'all begin?
Huh?
I mean, Brandy says she don't do that. So Dr. Jackson asked me. You say you don't be doing that. You don't do the nasty. Didn't you just say that?
Yeah, I'm not nasty doing right now. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
I didn't say I never. This is what
I didn't say you didn't either.
Okay. Well, I don't know what me saying I'm not doing it right now has to do with anything, but okay.
No, I just asked the question. I say y'all begin dudes that do that.
What was the question?
I mean, technically,
y'all get dudes that make noises like that.
So I'm gonna answer the question one more again. Like I said, if he's at the point of finishing,
yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that, and I in my former days, my past life,
back in the day,
I want to see that. Like that's interesting to me. Mm-hmm. How you when you.
But if the whole
what's
time
an acceptable grunt? What's acceptable and what's non-acceptable?
I
want to hear you.
But if he's doing what that sound she just made.
What was that?
If he's doing that the whole time.
You can't because that means you've watched too many pornos or whatever the case may be, and you're acting right now. And sometimes you gotta focus on not.
They do that in porn?
I don't know. I don't watch porns. But sometimes you gotta watch. I mean, you're trying to prevent yourself from getting to that point. And if you're screaming the whole time, no. Now you can talk to me.
Talk to me.
Right. You can talk to me, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go to word. You say some words.
But don't be asking me no serious questions while we do. Don't do that. They love doing that.
I can't agree with that. Because
don't be asking me no serious questions.
If we talking business,
come on, Trey. Hey, Trey, boy. Hey, I knew you was a real one, boy. I knew it. I knew you was a real one, G. I knew it.
And that's fine.
Talking is
First of all,
fine.
where did
We
you go?
gonna
I
talk.
forgot you were here. That's so embarrassing. So embarrassing to have you on here when I was saying that. I don't mind you talking. Being silent. That's weird to me. That is freaking weird.
The
Word.
1,000-yard stare.
What about no noise? Don't do that. Like, but if
What
you're
in the
making
get out are we talking about right
screaming
now?
sounds and the whole time, that's gonna throw me off.
Like,
What's
going on right now?
And what's going on?
Where am I?
Yeah,
Am I being punked?
I'm being punked. You trying to be funny?
Where's the shade room at? Are they watching?
Girl. So and flip the question. I guess guys, y'all don't care. Do you think a guy, and this for the fellas then, do you think a guy being vocal, not verbal, vocal the whole time is okay?
I don't know, man.
Thank you, Oscar.
Personally, I much rather hear you scream.
The guys use that as motivation, though. Guys see that as motivation.
I think that it depends on the situation. Because if I'm enjoying, if that thing,
She said that monkey.
That monkey, come on, cousin.
if that thing snapping and grip,
If that thing banging.
you know what I'm saying? Hey, we gonna talk. You feel me?
We're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah. We gonna talk.
It's gonna be verbal, it's gonna be physical, and it's gonna be audible.
Yeah. All that.
But I'm talking about the whole time. Like the whole time. You're like,
making jungle noises.
Nah, every second, I can't every second. That might be a bit.
Like it's one thing if it's like every now and again, like okay, occasional.
Okay, you feeling it then. Yeah.
I don't know, man, because hey.
Whenever he laughs, it just makes me laugh.
Hey.
That's the best laugh. He has the best laugh to me.
He does. Every time I hear him laugh, it just makes me laugh.
I'm telling you, hey. Cause what? I don't know, man. What's like how long can he what's the pause in between for y'all?
I'm not putting a time.
Oh
yes, you can do it on 3-minute increments.
Yeah, because you know what I'm saying?
3-minute increments.
It needs to be okay. So if you're oh my gosh, this is so weird. Okay, so if you're audible, there needs to be a time where it's either a silent or
or just breathing.
Or breathing. Right.
Oh, I don't that.
I don't want to hear.
Why I gotta be?
Because you guys are saying that.
I'm talking about like God damn. Yeah, I'm talking about stuff like that. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, man.
Yeah. I ain't talking about I'm I'm talking to you.
You saw that? You got a net. Yeah. Nothing but net. Trey. Nothing but net.
Oh my. What about allowing for technique, counting cadences, or verbalizing his distractions to
one potato, two potato?
If I hear him say something like, "Oh man, how many outs are in a how many outs are in a inning?" I'd be like, oh, "Okay, he trying to reel himself back." Okay, but I don't want to hear no screaming and screeching.
Can a nigga be like Diddy? Hey, can a nigga be like Diddy in that thing? Huh?
What you mean?
Take that.
Hey, nothing's off limits with Brandy. In her old life, that is. Not the current one she lives in.
In her old life, no, that was limits.
Take that. All you want all
that was yesterday? That was the old life was yesterday?
There's limits. There was limits. But I'm not, I don't do that now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
Don't do
saying
that
if
now.
I did,
How deep you gonna
if
let me
I
go on that?
did, Trey, call me. I'm joking.
No, she's not. She's
How
not
deep
joking,
you gonna
Trey.
let me go on there? Yeah.
You can click the link and be on audio. You don't have to be on video. Anyway, so yeah, you can't be overly audible. Like I think I told y'all by the time the lady upstairs, she was always I'm like, ma'am, stop watching pornos because that's not real life. That
Yeah,
ain't
you
real
don't
life.
know. Hey,
I mean,
that,
you don't know though. You don't know what he
That
was
ain't
up
real
there
life.
doing.
hey,
You
he
don't
might
know
have.
what he was up there
You
doing.
ain't never had that
Hey, he
happen.
might have been in there.
Why?
He might.
Wait, what you talk? What?
He won.
Okay.
You heard what I said. Yeah, that's yeah.
He
You
might
say
have
I
Lie
ain't
been.
you
never had
want
that.
to.
Okay.
Lie you want to.
I guess I haven't.
You might have. He might have been in there beating the brakes off of.
He won.
Nah, he wasn't.
No.
But then you know
Not
you
at
got
all.
them women. Because I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest.
Tick. He ain't even
I'm
know.
gonna be
Tick.
honest. Through
Go
my
ahead.
through my experience. Okay.
Okay.
Well, the realists be ready for these
Different
conversations.
women.
Express themselves differently.
They do that, but I think it's because there's a different type of sensitivity in the private places.
Okay.
Facts.
Wait, what do you mean?
Meaning
Um,
that you the doctor. Doc, you want to explain
No,
what,
I want to know what you mean. I don't
what
want
I
to know what
mean
let's hear
is
somebody else.
you do it first.
what,
Let's hear your explanation
what I
first, the realist.
what I mean is I got a position called the Roy. You know.
Okay. Do you want?
Oh, you asked me to explain it,
Go ahead, the realist.
and
I want to hear this.
and I put multiple women in that position,
Okay.
right? Some thoroughly enjoy it
Mm-hmm.
because of the position. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, I'm hitting that I'm in that spot.
Okay.
Others that might not be their spot. You feel what I'm
Correct.
saying? So
Because
what I'm
they're shaped
saying
different on
is
the inside.
right, and it's some I might touch on that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that thing, while I'm you feel what I'm saying? And
You all right, Brandy?
next thing you know what I'm saying? They explode, but it's others I could do the same thing, and it
This
take
is
them
kind of her
longer.
cousin. This is why she's making the faces. Go ahead.
It take them a lot
You said it's
longer.
her cuss.
It
This
take
is her
Nah, she getting
cousin.
flashbacks. That's flashback
it's
faces.
taking
No, that's my cousin.
it's
Calm
taking
down. We
that
don't do
was
cousins like you do
yeah
cousins, player.
that's
I didn't say anything between you and your cousin.
No, this is. Go ahead.
but
Go
Finish
ahead.
your
Go ahead,
Yeah, go
Leroy.
ahead
what
and
I'm
finish.
saying is, so I could do the same thing with somebody else, right? And
right.
You won't get the same
she'll be like,
response.
nah, she'll be like, nah, I don't like that like that. You know what I'm saying? So the
Mm-hmm.
ones that like it like that, they get off quicker. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
On
Okay.
on a different way, and it'd be a lot more. It's a difference between when it's sprinkling and when it rains,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you feel what I'm saying?
I
So
understand.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Got it. Noted.
Yeah. And then because some of them you can't, some of them don't want you to be in the abyss. They just want you to just put your feet in the shallow end.
Noted.
Right. You understand what I'm saying?
She
So
said noted.
you know what I'm saying? But I like deep sea fishing. You
Oh,
feel?
do you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a deep sea diver. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
But with the ones that
Nigga, if you don't shut up.
you feel what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. It's like different thing, different strokes for no pun intended. Different strokes,
Yes, there is a pun intended. Go
different
ahead.
strokes. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You feel me?
Different strokes for different folks. Got
That's
it.
what I'm talking about. Noted.
Noted.
I slide you a number because clearly Lord help us. Oh Lord. So yes, okay. So a man for me cannot be overly
Louder.
exotic. Yeah, I mean you could be louder than me. That's fine. But
Mhm.
I mean, you know what?
Give us an example,
Let me
Brandy.
run that back.
Like, give
Go
us an
ahead.
example. I said, giving us an example of
Let
like
me run that back. Let me run that back. It won't.
demonstrate.
What you mean demonstrate? Demonstrate what?
Demonstrate what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, in your opinion.
She'll let you know when it happens.
I won't let him know. But I mean,
Well, then demonstrate on the live then, since you won't let me know.
Amazing.
Wow.
That's the only way I'm going to find out, right?
What?
I mean, that's the only way I'm going to find out, right? So just demonstrate on the live.
I don't think she wants you to find out for some reason.
I know.
I just don't.
I won't. So there is a point. Oh, yeah. Let me send this to. How do I send this? Do you answer that question?
What's the question?
I guess.
Like how Brandy's not answering none of my questions.
Demonstrating.
Tonight.
I've answered your questions. I just not.
You didn't answer like you just passed. You just ignored every last question I asked you tonight.
Somebody.
That's disrespectful.
Is it?
Yeah, you ignored every question I asked today.
What question did you ask? And we'll verify that I did not ignore.
She said she's not demonstrating.
We don't have to do that. I just want you to demonstrate.
She said
we don't have to do all that. I just want you to demonstrate.
Okay, so does a woman and a man have to discuss the level of emotional expressions at the beginning of a relationship?
Oh, that's a
great
good one,
question.
Good one. That's
no.
good.
An excellent question.
That's a good question, Mr. Q.
No. What do y'all think?
No, the only thing you should be discussing, because like a lot of that stuff should be discovered through time. Like you'll see it through time of knowing the person. So the only thing that you should be discussing really is like your love language, like how you like to be communicated to, and like different stuff like that. But how is a man going to come? Because the thing is, how is a man going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm overly emotional. Like I don't see how that conversation will come up. Honestly.
Or you would ask, how would you react? You would ask a scenario question. You would say, hey, if something like this were to happen, how would you react to it?
But that's the thing. So that's a hypothetical.
Well,
so
yeah, that's what we do.
With that. It's a hypothetical. So you don't know how you're going to react until the situation presents itself.
You have a general idea of what you may not do. And then within those general ideas, when the situation actually happens, you're going to resort back to it on some level.
Is a man going to be honest?
If it's not as gun-ho as you explained it to be, it's still going to be on some type of level that you explained it to be.
Is a man going to be honest? Because of societal pressures, is a man going to be honest? No, you just have to wait for the situation to present itself.
I agree.
I
think it can't. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I agree. But that's the thing where I'm saying, yeah, is he going to be honest? He might not be honest. So you know that, okay, take his story that, oh, somebody bust into my house, I'm going to do 3 backflips, grab the gun, get behind the couch, walk up behind him and do some Terminator type takedown. You could just say, okay, maybe the most he might do is pull the gun and say, hey, get out of my house.
Or he might freeze in place because people do that.
Or he might freeze. That's the lowest level of whatever he explained he might do.
But that's what I'm saying. So you never know. So you can ask people how they're going to react in certain situations until the situation presents itself. You don't know.
Yeah, but then that's on you to discern that.
He said, as a man, being honest, my emotions are paying bills, protect the kids, and put my woman to sleep every night. She needs it.
All right.
Yeah. Other emotions cloud judgment.
I agree with that.
Okay.
You don't seem like you disagree.
So you don't believe in what?
You didn't seem like you would disagree in this.
I agreed with half of that.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
I agreed with half of that.
I hate this guy.
What half don't you agree with?
Oh my gosh! Can you anyway? This guy.
Yeah, perfect positioning. Got it.
Right, me on top. Ew, ew, ew. I'm not with you today. So I think, let me go back to the question where it says, does a woman and a man have to discuss the level of emotional expression at the end of the day? I don't think you have to discuss the level of emotional expression. But I feel like roles and discussing the roles that people play is important, and that implicates the level of emotional expression that is accessible to each party.
Sometimes
You know, sometimes my answer. No, sometimes my
I
answer.
am sometimes
That's
in it.
feelings.
Because you know, some men, the first, like, so not even some men, some people can put on a mask
Oh,
in the
sure.
beginning and tell you all these nice things, and then in a little bit, then you see the real person come out.
Right.
But isn't that what
So
discernment is
it
for?
don't really,
Not
it's not
everybody.
even, but we're talking about what people are discussing when they start dating someone. So either way, discernment still takes time for that to reveal itself, right? Because it doesn't matter what I tell you, you still have to see it, right?
What about women intuition? Does that not help?
You still, still takes time.
Trey,
Time. It's still time.
would you like to say something? Yeah. Okay. Did you want to say something about that?
I have nothing to say. I'm just kind of waiting.
Okay. Okay. As for, that is Aquila's laughing right now.
My
Anyway,
nigga. What's up, Trey?
What it do, fam? How you doing, bro? You doing all right?
You got it, G.
Oh, and Oscar, to answer your question, I'm a psych NP. Go ahead.
anyway, as a man being honest, my emotions, I feel like I feel like you have to have more emotions than just paying bills. Like you have to be able to, if you're frustrated, you have to show. You should be able to express that, especially to a significant other. Like, why are you holding that back? Why do you feel like expressing yourself in different avenues rather than those clouds your judgment? I would think holding in your emotions clouds your judgment.
I
Man,
think the problem is that when we're discussing emotions, people automatically go to the emotions of sadness or stressed out and all those things. Like they don't acknowledge the fact that there's different levels of emotions. Like for example, like we were discussing passion, we were discussing ecstasy, happiness, fear. Like
Mm-hmm.
those things are also disgust, enjoyment, anger. Like those are
But
all emotions as well.
I think passion is in that last part that Mr. Q put there, where he said and putting his woman to sleep the way that she needs every night. There's passion there.
Yeah, but he says his emotion is paying the bills and making sure that what have you and
and then
but
he
I'm
was
like
and then he was saying that other emotions can
can cloud your judgment.
and but I also think really it's how you process that whether or not it's gonna cloud your judgment, right? Because I think you can filter through other emotions and find truth and and discover clarity, right? But but if you're a type of person who hasn't learned how to manage their emotions, right? And when I say manage, I just mean filter through them, right? Like I don't just because I feel this way, I don't have to respond to this. Let me investigate this. Let me investigate this before I put an emotional response behind that. Like I always told my nieces, my nephews, even the women I dated, never attach an emotional response to something that you don't have all the information to,
Mm.
because you could be wrong. You
Mm-hmm.
know
Because
what
you
I'm
have to
saying?
do effective
Just because you
processing.
felt something in the beginning, that might not be the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Like you try to get understanding. You know what I'm saying before you attach something. Because then, if once you got that understanding, if what was communicated to you, verify what it was that you felt. Now I can understand why you upset. But after we had that conversation and you realize, dang, I misunderstood what you said. You can't you shouldn't be attached to that emotion no more.
But do
Well, I think that's the
dudes
crux.
typically get all the information, or do they? Or like, I don't feel like dudes try to get all the information.
What you
Some of
mean?
them do. Some.
What
I
you
don't feel
mean?
like I feel like men don't ask enough questions. I think that like
What?
okay,
Hey,
I'm not including you.
hey,
You're
you
an
know what?
anomaly.
No,
I
you're
don't
right.
disagree with that.
You
I
right.
don't
You right.
disagree with that.
Sometimes they react first. Sometimes.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I would say most men don't ask enough questions or the right questions.
Right. So it's like Are y'all really acting off of logic, or are you just acting off of what the little information that you have, and you're like running with it, and I'm over here like, wait, whoa, calm down, wait.
I think those men who don't ask the right questions are the reason why they are moving in emotion. They're not asking. They're not processing logically. So they're not. They don't know to ask the right questions because they're not processing it through logic. They're processing it through emotion.
There's like heartbroken. That's another emotion. Disappointment.
Oh, if we break up, you better be more emotional than me.
I'm done. I'm done with her. I have no words.
What? I mean it.
Well, I wanted to say something, but to comment on what the realist was saying. To comment on Mr. Q's comment about just other emotions cloud judgment. You basically that was what I was saying earlier. The realist about how men take the emotion, whatever emotion comes, and we process it logically, and we filter it out, and we throw away what doesn't stick. And so, for what Mr. Q is saying is, if the emotions that are coming don't fit into those three categories, which is taking care of my household, making sure I'm protected, and making sure my woman's good, then all of those get thrown out. Other emotions that don't, being anxious about what someone's doing to you, that doesn't matter. Throw that out. Throw that away.
All right. You walk into the room and then your wife is being pounded by the neighbor.
Is being pounded by the neighbor. I'm gonna be like, wow, okay. Well, this is what's going on. I'm gonna look at the situation.
You can
I'm like,
say
okay,
that.
well, listen, I'm telling you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at the situation.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna look at the situation. I'm like, okay, this is what's happening here. All right. I'm gonna feel some kind of way about it, but I'm gonna process it. Okay, if she would do something like this to me, she's a dishonest woman. She's not a woman that, hey, I made a mistake and I got with her. I'm gonna use my get out of jail free pass and get out. That's it. You pounding the neighbor. You don't. There's no loyalty to me.
This is the love of your life.
You don't have it. If you were to love my life, you would have loyalty to me. There's no loyalty.
The love of your life doesn't mean you're the love of her life.
Okay, well then I made a mistake. It was loyalty. I'm gonna take my get out of jail free pass and cash it in and be out.
No problem. A lot of people say stuff like that. A lot of people say that until they're put in a situation and then they have what's called temporary insanity and then just kill everybody in the room.
Yeah, you don't think that men have been through that? Other men have been through that and they just process it the same way that I process it?
Some people.
I mean, there would be a lot more men in jail for that particular reason if that was not the case. I mean, you could see situations, especially on social media, where men are reacting, but that don't mean they went as far as to, like, hey, get your crap and get out of my house. And the woman's out on, don't kick me out, no, in the sheets and whatnot, butt naked. But he kicked. That was his logical response to that. Okay, I see you cheating on me. Yeah, get the hell out of here. Bye. Throw all your crap out. It might be actually throw your crap out. I might pack it up for you and then let you come and get it, depending on the kind of man I am.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Let this comment stick for a little bit.
Wait a minute. If my wife is being pounded by the neighbor, it's threesome time, and then she has to move out with her new.
I mean, hey, she is what she is. So she is what she is. Might as well take advantage of it. I don't,
Okay.
I mean, if you're gonna be pounding the neighbor.
Oh no, you can't ask. You already said you're moving on. This is Mr. Q, sir. What?
You're stumped. Okay, go ahead, Brandon. What you got?
Speechless.
Okay. Okay. Going back to go. All right, going back to this comment. Clarity and confidence clear away emotional cobwebs. An emotionally grounded man doesn't act hastily, true, and doesn't have any lingering emotions, positive or negative. I disagree. Why can't he have lingering emotions, positive or negative?
Men hold grudges.
Like bees.
like men can hold on to stuff.
Yeah,
For
like
example, you know how like they say that when a man expresses his vulnerability to you and you weaponize it, that men will never forgive you and never trust you again. They hold on to shit.
Well, I think we could say that is a man that's not mature, emotionally mature.
no, that's a
That's
man.
that's
No,
generalized
that is.
statement said by most men, saying that if they trust you with something and you use it against them, they will never trust you again. That's
Like
something that's said across the board by a lot of men.
if you take what? Repeat that again. Let me make sure I'm clear. If you take
If you
what
take their
and do what?
vulnerability and use it against them, they don't trust you again,
And not to say
I
women
and
are
mean,
the same.
they're not
why,
gonna be open with you
why?
again.
I mean, I get it. I can understand that. Why would I tell you I've been wounded here and then you take something to infect my wound? You know, I can understand that. You're the nurturer. You're the caretaker. You're supposed to,
We both need to be nurturing each other. We both need to
if you're gonna
caretake
bring
for each
harm to
other.
me, then you're a cancerous person. I don't need you around. You're venomous. You're not good. You're not good for me. So bye.
If she's what? If she what?
I mean, if you're willing to take the wound that you know is there and infect it on purpose, put something in there just so that it infects and that it goes into my body and contaminates me and kills me,
Okay.
then you're not somebody who's meant for me. You're not good. You're a cancerous woman.
That
I don't
doesn't
need you.
negate from the fact that men hold grudges. So
Maybe not,
y'all
but
do
I'm
y'all
just processing it logically for
even
you.
if you're emotionally grounded, you still hold grudges.
No,
What
you
is
don't.
But
If you're emotionally
yeah,
grounded,
yeah.
you don't hold grudges.
You still
Because
hold
tomorrow
grudges.
isn't promised.
what's
Tomorrow
an
isn't promised. Why are you
acceptable
holding on to grudge?
uh, mm. what's an
You
acceptable
won't be
level
here.
of all right?
Go ahead, Ms. Jack.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Jackson.
What's an acceptable level of anger for a man to express?
What's an
What's an
acceptable?
acceptable level of anger?
I mean, honestly, if you want an honest answer, I would depend. It
No
would depend on the
lie.
situation.
You what?
Okay, I'll lie to you then, Brandon. If it would
You asked
be,
that silly question.
it
Go
would
ahead.
honestly, it would just be dependent on the situation and the circumstances of how much anger you allow something. You know, how much anger you allow yourself to get to.
A level of anger that a man can express, you can get any level as long as you don't hit me. As long as you don't verbally assault me.
But if you allow him to get any level at all, then you know that level might come. You never know, that level might come out to where he does do that.
I just said you can express any level of emotion as long as you don't get to the point of assaulting me physically or verbally. You won't get to that point. For
So then
one,
anger probably shouldn't be expressed with you.
So hold
how
on.
do you get this
How
stuff?
you go to hold on? I have a question. How you go from 0 to 100? You can. She said you can express your anger. Just don't hit me and don't call me out my name. That's basically what she said.
But if there's 0 to 100, then you got to expect that it can go to 100. It's
But
just
that's
like
what I'm trying to say.
you want it
You
to
are
go to
going from
50, and
0
that's
to
it.
100. You are going from 0 to 100. She said you can go to any level as long as you're not hitting me or calling me out my name or verbally assaulting her, is what she said. Acceptable level of anger is 5 out of 5. From a man, 2 out of 5. 3 or higher, we got to see how brazen he really is.
I basically, because once you get to 4 or 5, you hitting somebody and you
Or
verbally
you
assaulting
throwing, or
somebody,
you destroying stuff in the house, like
right?
essentially like 4 to 5.
And in our reality, if you, I feel like if you punch a wall, you better be able to patch a wall. Like, just don't.
If
You
you
better be able
breaking
to
stuff, you better
face
be able to buy
stuff.
it back.
Right, right. You want to break the vase? I want the exact same one back, and it better not be thrown at me or near me because I'm not throwing nothing at you, and I'm not doing that to you.
Mm.
Mm.
So you agree with that? Then you agree with that statement?
That what?
That statement, Mr. Q statement.
I mean, that's essentially he just
Five
put
out of
numbers
five.
to it. He just added numbers to
Acceptable,
basically the same thing what she said.
Basically,
acceptable
right.
did you read it though? Do you
I
agree
did.
with it? Acceptable level of anger. Can we put it back up, moderator, please? Acceptable level of
Acceptable.
anger is 5 out of 5. From a man, 2 out of 5. 3 or higher, we got to see how brazen he really is.
So
Do you agree with
acceptable.
that?
So Mr. Q, if the 5 out of 5 is that from a woman?
And it's
I
agreeable
mean,
to a level. It's agreeable to a level. You can be, my thing is, you can be a 5 out of 5 as long as your 5 isn't assaulting me in any form. I can be a 5 as long as my 5 isn't assaulting you
so
in
choking
any
is okay.
form. That's
A woman can get as physical as she likes when she gets angry. Anger can be an aphrodisiac on a woman.
interesting.
He's a sadist.
But sir, what is wrong with y'all? What?
No, that's why I
He's a
said
little bit of a
it's choking
sadist. I
acceptable.
see
You
that.
said 5 out of 5 is okay, Brandon, as long as it's not physically beating you down. So it's choking you okay.
What?
That's not
He said,
anger.
he said a
No, if
woman
you're
can get
choking me
angry.
in anger and not eroticism, no.
What's the difference though? Ain't it this? It ain't it like it has to come from somewhere.
There's
And if
anger
you
The
don't
emotion
know
has
the
to come
difference,
from
I can't
somewhere.
help you, love bug. If you don't know the difference, I can't help you.
There's
And a
anger
woman
I know the
cannot get as
difference. I'm just saying
physical.
emotion comes from
A woman
that.
cannot get
Still,
as
that's still part of
physical
emotion.
as she likes when
We
she gets angry. I feel like if you're
we
woman enough to hit a man, you woman enough to get hit back.
but we accepted the we agree that passion is an emotion, right?
Passion
Isn't
is an
that
anger, right? But you're talking about anger.
Passion versus anger. They're two separate emotions.
You're being very specific when you say anger. You can express your
but
passion.
emotions kind of bleed into each other, do they not?
You say so.
Don't emotions bleed into each other? Because you can be having, you know what I'm saying, you can have rough sex and it's passionate, but it's still like you beating somebody. That's still kind of an anger. It's act, is it not? It could because that same beating,
no,
that same beating.
Right.
I mean, that same beating could be looked on the other end as anger.
I didn't need to
Somebody
say
could,
this
all right.
on here.
So this, for example, you could be in a room and you and your partner, that's how y'all get down. Y'all get down on the hard beating down. You know what I'm saying? Slapping,
No,
but somebody else walk in and see that and think, oh my goodness, this is what's going on. This is perception.
For me, you
Okay,
can
Brandy,
get
I
to
heard.
any level of anger you want. Just do not lay your hands on me or verbally assault me.
Okay.
And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about anger, not eroticism, which is where you're trying to go. And that's not what the question is pertaining to.
What about a man being depressed?
What do you mean? Like, can he be more depressed than me?
Well,
you could be down. You could be down, but you can not. You can depression. Because I don't think it should get to that point
level
anyway.
of sadness. He's having multiple symptoms.
Yeah.
Well, depression is a combination of several symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
But you basically become incapacitated. You say that? Yeah. Okay.
I agree. That is not a luxury that men can. Not my man. And my thing is, you can't. How are you getting to the level of depression if you're talking to me? Like, why are we not communicating? I shouldn't get to a level of depression either because we're communicating.
But what if the depression?
But most men don't have that.
That's a misconception. So the depression might not be related to you. The depression might not have anything to do with you. Sometimes, like for example, like to get more personal, like for example, I can see that my dad is going through depression right now because of the fact that he's at the age of retirement. He's used to being a provider, all of this different stuff. So he's not used to not working.
Mm-hmm.
So you can clearly see that he is going into depression. And a lot of men, when they get to that age, they start going into that.
But it's talking to your mom about it.
No, men don't talk about that stuff.
Talking about. You shouldn't go into a depression because you're communicating with me, because we're talking through it, because we're working that out. Now, if you're not talking to someone about it, then yeah, you're gonna go into a depressive state. You're mute. I can't hear you if you're talking.
I said
A
most
depressive
men don't
state.
have that.
So
They
it's
don't
like
All
have the.
right.
you
They don't
have to
have.
be able to communicate with me. And then if you're still going into depressive state, then there's additional problems that need to be dealt with.
You said most men don't have that.
Yeah, they don't have somebody to talk to or to
That's
that's
not that's
willing
not
to
my
be.
that's not my I'm talking about my situation though. Like,
Well,
and I
I
feel
I
like
mean,
mean,
my
yeah, men
male
go into
friends,
depression a lot.
right, and even with my male friends, if I have people they call me often and I listen. You may not some of them may not even be able to talk to their girl, but they can talk to me. So the men around me, like a lot, no, I'm not gonna say, oh, but most of the men around me, you can come, and I don't know if the realist is listening, but you can come talk to me.
That's
Like
a fact.
he knows you can come talk to me.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna
So
come talk to you next time, Brandy.
you got my number. Do what you do anytime.
I got you.
I got you.
Thank you.
But you
Oh,
know,
so
man, this what I learned. This what I guess for me, I always kind of been this way with my friends, I guess. I feel like the same stuff I could say to my wife, I really say to my friends.
wait, say it one more time.
The same things that I share with my wife, like if I was married, I would share with my friends.
The people who, yeah, you consider friends, like close friends.
My male friends, yeah. Like we talk about everything. They might shoot. They got more details about me. I would say I have a deeper, intimate relationship with them than you know what I'm saying, anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So the ST point, I'm saying I do think that men do have this capacity or space to do it with other males if they choose to do so. But I do understand the fact that when it comes to, because we were speaking about this earlier, uh, having that feeling like you have that emotional space with a woman is definitely the where the real struggle lies.
I share stuff. I'd rather share stuff with my woman more than with
Right.
my boy. And the comfort between her legs, just talking to her. That's it.
What do you mean it ain't even all the way in? Did I miss something? What did you talk
Um, how open are you ladies when it comes to lust? If a man has desire for someone other than you,
about? Sir, keep that to yourself.
so this is like a polyamory kind of question. Yes.
No,
Seems to be.
I think he's saying, what if can
Can he express to you that he has desire from that he finds another woman attractive?
right? You can tell him you find another woman attractive, but to say it lustfully, if I
Like
lust
if
is
you
an
come to
emotion.
say, man, you just want to
Keep
see
that
her
to
legs
yourself.
open. Yes, you're right. Absolutely right. Can he express to me that he lustfully wants another woman? Like he said he want to bend her over on the table next to like, no, bro.
Not in those exact words, right?
You got
No,
like, but no,
not in
but
any form of those words.
like you
Not in
can
any
say, hey,
capacity of
she's a
those words.
beautiful
You
woman.
cannot.
You can admire how beautiful another woman is, or whatever, or how attractive another woman is. Now, when you start talking about something, you want to bend her over, or you want to open her legs over there, then that's a whole different conversation, bro.
Mm.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Why is that?
I mean, okay, let's be real. And y'all can say
Yeah.
y'all don't care, but if your girl, the one you care about, the one that's my good. We here, we there, and she's like, dang, I will let him eat this all night long.
That's
You're
the
gonna
thing.
be like, you
You
know
know,
what? Thank you for being expressive, babe. Thank you for being open to me. You ain't trying to hear that junk either. So stop.
What? We're not trying to hear what?
What
That
I
that
just
that
said.
that's that there's that
That if a
Mr.
woman came to me
Tyrone.
and said, "I'm gonna let him eat it all night long," I ain't trying to hear that.
No, your
No,
woman
listen,
girl.
is standing
listen.
next to you, and she says that about the dude right across the way.
Tyrone
Get the
just
fuck out of
passed
here.
down the street. Tyrone passed, and he said, "Yes, that's a face I would love to sit on."
Or not even that. You and I
I
are
mean,
together,
there's some
Stelson.
men out there that like that.
You and I are together, Stelson, and I see Trey, and I'm like, yeah, he can eat. Yeah, he can. I bet his tongue works so. Oh, he's so fine. God, he can get it tonight. If we were together, he could get it tonight. You ain't gonna be like, yeah, that's cool. I like when you do that, girl. Yeah, keep being honest with me, girl.
I'm gonna tell you to shut your mouth.
Right. So why can't we feel that way?
That's it.
That's
I'm gonna
okay.
tell you to shut your mouth. Like what? That's like if you don't watch yourself, I'm gonna check you.
You stupid. If he say that.
I just laugh. I probably just laugh. Yeah, Oscar. I would just laugh.
Realist. Oh my gosh. Realist. This guy. How do you feel about it? Are you cool with your
Significant other.
would a dude legit? Would a dude be cool with his girl saying something like that?
And I'm not talking about an actor. I'm talking about a real man who's walking down the street or the neighbor.
Oh, you ain't got no answer, Stelson. Okay. But here's your friend's answer.
Oh, you said the realist.
I said
You didn't say me.
Then I said it for the fellas.
Oh, sorry. You just addressed the realist. So I thought I was just
And
the
okay.
realist.
So you gonna answer or no?
If a woman expresses that lust, you're saying, would I be okay with it?
Your woman, the one you care so much about, I'm gonna ask her to marry me tomorrow. Said that while y'all walking through the mall about another dude.
I mean, I'll question it. Like, why'd you say that to me?
You already just said 5 minutes ago you would say shut your mouth. So stop your
Yeah.
lying.
Yeah.
No, realist.
I will check you. That's what I said.
you,
I said I'll check you.
Thank you, Trey. But then you want to say
I said I would check you.
I'd question it.
Did I go into details about how I would check you, or
Man,
did you not want me to answer that?
Cap.
I was trying to before you just.
Yeah, right.
Right. Okay. I was trying to answer how I would check you, but I'll leave that. You don't need to know the answer to that. Just know that I'll check you.
What's the question?
If your girl that you're in love with, you walk and see Jason over there, and she says, "Man, I'd let him split me open."
Jason.
Just any random guy that's just.
I'm just calling him random man.
Oh, what was the question?
If the girl you love, you like, I'm afraid like I did with Stelson. You finna marry her. You finna ask her to marry you tomorrow, and y'all walking through the mall,
and we together.
Y'all together, and she's a dude, and she's like, oh yeah, I bet he would split me in two. Dang, he looked good. If it weren't me and you, oh, he could get it. Yes, he could. Mm-hmm. How would you feel?
You talking about?
Or would you be fine with that?
Somebody said.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding the question.
You're not.
I gotta be.
You're not, fam. You're not.
Because that my girl wouldn't do that. I gotta be misunderstanding the question. What you talking
about? You're not.
He said, "What language you speaking right now?"
Like, what are we talking about? Yeah. Somebody was trying to say.
He said, "What language is you speaking?"
No, your comment wasn't overlooked. It was legit. I'm okay with her expression of lust. Just don't act on it. She's human. It wasn't overlooked.
Well, good, man. Good for you, Mr. Q.
Right.
I mean, that's I think that response when Mr. Q said that's like being more emotionally mature about the situation. It's like, hey, she's a human. She's okay to, you know what I'm saying? She's going to have interest outside of you. That doesn't mean that she's going to want to act on that.
Hold on. How does his response make it more emotionally mature?
How does it not?
Well, how does it? You said it does.
Well, okay, that's what I said.
His response
was how it does.
Because he understands that a woman is human. A woman is going to have other interests outside of you. just because she has other interests outside of you doesn't mean that she's going to act on those interests. And that's where the whole loyalty thing comes in. That's what I said earlier as well.
That's what
I
I'm
made
trying
that
to
clear
say.
to the point
So,
of if.
How does
Well, do
that
you want me
make,
to answer the question or no?
well, I understand what you're saying. Because I got to stop you in the beginning. I'm saying, how does that make him more emotionally mature when I believe the same thing?
I didn't say you weren't emotionally mature.
Well, I'm asking you.
I just said that's an emotionally matured response. If you believe that, then you're emotionally mature.
What I'm saying is, how does it make him more emotionally mature? I'm just saying I'm on the other end of the spectrum, right? I'm just talking from the other end of the spectrum. I'm not.
You on the realistic side of the spectrum,
right? I'm being real. I'm not even just. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking from another perspective, right? I'm saying if the other person believes the same thing as that person, that I know that she's human. I know that she's gonna have other interests outside of me. How does that mean the other person is more mature? That's what I'm asking.
Because they understand that outside of you, that other people that they have interest in other people.
Nigga, I said I understand the same thing. I said both of us understand the same thing.
Okay, so you said, how is that person not more emotionally mature?
I said how is the other, how if both of us believe the same thing, how does the person become more emotionally mature if both people believe the same thing?
By not reacting negatively to that situation happening.
But
that's how you're more mature.
So let me ask you this. So if I'm bothered by something and I express it, that's a negative reaction?
Not necessarily, but in this particular scenario, no. You're trying to generalize it where we're going specific here. In this specific scenario, where this woman is expressing interest in somebody else.
How am I generalizing the statement?
Because we're talking about a specific situation right now.
Listen, you made the statement about, I'm only rebutting to your statements. I'm not making a statement and you rebutting to mine. I'm rebutting to your statement. So you the one, I'm only responding to what you saying. So you making it the generalization, not me.
So in all fairness, let me say this. With Stelson saying that person displays more emotional intelligence, basically. So you're saying you lack emotional intelligence because you said, I check, you tell you to shut your mouth.
Are you asking me something or what?
No,
that's just clarification.
But you're making an observation or something?
No, that's a statement. No, that's a statement. No question. I'm putting 1 + 1 together, and it's coming up with you're emotionally not intelligent. Not you. Well, based on what you said, because you said you check her, and you said you check her.
Yeah, and I told you how I would do it. Yeah.
I tell you to shut your mouth.
Right. Be quiet. Shut up.
A mature and emotionally intelligent man can and will allow his woman a high level of liberty and emotional freedom to be her full and authentic self.
There it is.
Yeah, and a mature and emotionally intelligent woman will allow herself to say, hey, you know what? This might not be right for my king. So let me do what I can do to protect him.
And a mature and emotionally
maybe so, yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
So don't y'all can miss me with that. I'm vibrating on my chakras on 100. I'm vibrating frequency on 9.
Anybody said that though?
Nah, I ain't talking about you, G. I'm vibrating on frequency 920 KFG FM. You know what I'm saying? Y'all miss me with that.
920 KFG. Now you on the radio, right?
I'm just saying that because it sounds good in theory. Like, hey, an emotional, mature man will allow a woman to embrace and express herself fully, even if she wants to say that I want to let another man pipe me down, and you come on, dog. Like, come on, that's not even emotional maturity.
Well, I mean, it takes a very strong man to hear a woman, let alone a woman that he's in love with, to say that. I'm just saying, it takes somebody strong to be able to do that, hear that, and be able to not let it affect him.
I know I talk about my daddy a lot, but my daddy's a very strong man, and my daddy would not. He would not go for that at all.
I don't know any. I don't know unless it's like oh, Idris Elba on the TV or Morris Chestnut be like ooh, but
And all you
somebody
saying
who's
is
like,
he fine. He look good. You ain't going. You ain't.
but you're not gonna
That,
be
I
within
want to
arm's length of that
got
man.
wet looking at him. Like you, come on now. You gonna be like, you did. Okay, yeah. Stop it.
See, that type of stuff that don't bother me. Oh,
Yeah,
And there it is. Some men can and some men can't. I mean, that's just with everything. Some men are emotionally intelligent. Some men aren't.
stop
You
saying
kind of need both, though.
That's what I'm trying to say.
When you say that, it just
that's the
sounds like an
problem.
insult. So
No,
when you
It's,
say that some men are
I,
just
it's,
emotionally
no,
I
intelligent,
don't even take it as an insult.
It's not an insult.
I take
it's
it as
direct.
no, not even direct. I take it as you keep putting a label on something while ignoring the truth, right? And I keep saying, which is the truth is this: just because I express something doesn't mean that it's negative. And you keep saying, well, if you don't let it, if you let it bother you, then that makes you immature. That does not make you immature if something bothers you.
Well, that means
What type of
If it leads to a negative result, then it is negative.
He's saying that
no? What is a negative result?
If it involves you dying, if it involves somebody else dying, it involves you in some kind of situation where you can't protect yourself, your family, or whatever, then it's a negative result. If it puts you in a situation where it's not positive, it's negative. So reacting to something, if it's going to put you in a situation where you won't be here tomorrow, in any kind of level, whether it's through death,
we're
whether
talking
it's
about
through you
the
being in jail.
extreme, nigga. I ain't talking about nothing. I ain't nobody going to no extreme, dog. I'm straight. This man, you talking about?
But talking about that's what happens though. When men don't control their emotions, it can go to the extreme. Literally, it's a domino effect. The moment you allow one thing to bother you,
we're talking
about. That's what I'm trying to say. That ain't what you got it, G.
That's not what we're talking about, though. You're like you grasping at like invisible straws, like they ain't even there, guy. What we're talking about is literally tangible. Your girl is disrespecting you, and maybe if y'all have an open relationship, that's cool. But I don't care what nobody says. A man is going to have a physical and an emotional for sure, and probably a physical reaction, even if it's within himself, when he hears his woman talking about getting it from another man.
Well, you just Brandon, saw a man commented and said that he's okay with it.
I don't care. That's fine.
Brandon, what I'm saying is, even if it's people out there that's okay with it, that don't make them more emotionally mature.
It doesn't,
because they're okay with something.
And that's what I'm saying.
And this man keeps saying, because somebody is not okay with something, that means there's something they're
lacking emotional intelligence.
You're not even you lack emotional intelligence. You lack emotional maturity. And I'm like, how? That premise don't even make no sense.
Agreed.
Because if you bother by what white people did to black people, and somebody else not bothered by it, that mean that do that make you more emotional? More emotional mature? I wouldn't say that.
I mean, you just look at you look at the issue for what it is, and you make your own assessments within that issue.
Yeah, but you can't judge how somebody else will react to it.
I'm saying
what was that?
No, I was saying that you cannot crucify somebody else for how they react to it. You can't punish them for how their reaction. Everybody's reaction is not going to be the same. And that's basically hold on. And that's basically the topic of this whole conversation is like basically how much can a man be able to show his emotion? Because everybody's emotions are not going to be the same. Everybody's reactions to things are not going to be the same. And that brings us back to the topic of this conversation. Like, what is considered a man who acts like a bitch?
Oh, you said it.
I do.
I mean, you wrote it.
I did not.
She wrote exclamation point plus.
We know what it meant.
$.
because that's what I'm saying. It's like you can't judge certain things. Now, so when I saw the topic of the discussion, I was basically thinking, okay, men who come off with like, feminine characteristics, like they come and they gossip, like that's what I was thinking. I was thinking,
Gossip.
But to men, that is kind of like, you know what I'm saying, too much of that. It
no,
is
but
acting like
that's what I thought that the topic was about, like men who act like that. For example, I don't know if you guys saw Love is Blind, the first season.
I did. Be
Okay,
surprised.
so
That was fun.
the Diamond, and I forgot what his name is, when that situation came out that he had been with another man before and such like that, and how he reacted when she was just like, well, I need to take the information and process it. That's all she said, is she was going to take the information and process it. And the way
Yeah.
how this man acted, that was acting like a bitch.
Hold on. What how did he react?
Basically, he started basically yelling at her, calling her out of her name. I think he the one who threw the ring in the pool. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. It was.
Like he was just like, he was calling her all kind of bitches and hoes, and like, and all she said, because he revealed to her that he had been with a man before, and that he's basically to let her know that he's bisexual. And she said, okay, well, I'm gonna take the information and see and process it, because this is not
Wow.
something that I was ready for. And basically, he basically started calling her, what you call it, biphobic or whatever the case is.
He started displaying female tendencies,
Exactly,
or tendencies that are attributed to female behavior. He said
exactly,
it that way. Yeah.
exactly.
Mm,
I agree
So
with the
that's
comment
what I
that
thought the topic was going to be about.
mm.
I agree with what Mr. Q put there. If you could put it back about a
But
man
what was
should,
the comment? I'm sorry, I was talking, I didn't
yeah,
see it.
Brandon could go ahead and put it back. A man should only show enough emotion required to give
A
a clear
man
impression
can
that he is
only.
human and decent.
A man can only show as much emotion as required to give a clear impression that he's human and decent.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly what that means. I won't even lie to you. What? A man can only show
A
as
man
much
can only show his
emotion as
emotion as
required.
he's it's clear
As
to show
required.
that he's human.
Okay.
Emotion towards a man, hey, it's that, like I
I'm
said,
trying to understand
emotion.
the point. I'm the oh he oh I think I see, I think I see what, oh, I understand. Okay, I feel you, bro.
What do you mean? What's the point?
I think he's just trying to just throw out some information. Yeah, I feel you, bro.
All right. And on that note, I'm going to check out, y'all.
Oh, good night, because I'm about to
Right,
check out too.
right, right.
Did you have anything that you wanted to end with, D? Because
No, not really.
realist.
Nah, it's good to be back live in the studio,
What
live in
man?
the chat.
Listen, we
I
hope to
missed
see you
you.
every week. You get it live in here.
Yeah, man. Oh, you missed me, huh?
Oh,
It's
Yes,
like
we missed you. We
yeah,
missed you.
don't
yeah.
we?
I
He ain't
appreciate
talking
that.
to me.
You know what
Huh?
I'm saying?
I said,
I
don't we? He ain't
I
talking to me.
appreciate that, Dr. Jackson
We miss you.
and Brandy. You
She
know,
can she can she can say all she want, but she miss you too.
I
yeah.
said I missed him, but he talk about you missed me. We know what he talk about. He talking
Man,
to
she play too much, man. All
me.
right, y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look, oh Lord. I'm glad you enjoy yourself, Trey. All right, D. Have a good night, girl.
Bye, bye, love.
Thank y'all for everybody that commented. Oh my goodness. For people that y'all so necessary. I tell you. We have a show. The times have changed. We are now doing 8 o'clock because I was hoping to be off by 11. It won't be as long. Y'all know I'm trying. We're working on it, but sometimes conversations just mold into something else. But thank you for everyone that commented. Everybody that viewed, love you, love you, love you. See you next Wednesday. I'll have the topic and information up on the Question Time Facebook page, so you'll know what the topic of discussion will be for next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Always click the link and join. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share because you care about me and my life. Trey, you have a great night. Hey, if you haven't already, go to the Raw News No Fluff YouTube page. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click to get notifications so you never miss a show.